Alright, man, we getting this show on the road or what?
Hey, I'm done. I'm done. I was trying to put in your little logo,
It's my logo.
or like your little dude in Discord. Make it a
Uh,
little bit more professional.
Just resubscribed
Dude,
for
this is like
17
literally
months.
Scuff Central.
today planned. Like, yeah, it's not gonna be good.
True, it's not gonna be good. All right, I'm down. I'm down.
You get the topic, right?
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'll talk about the first topic with the just like where where Smite started. Like all of Smite pretty much was built on esports, just full Smite esports. Like the weekly tournaments, like way back preseason before they even had like launch tourney. Like all of Smite was pretty much built on its esports side, and fucking what was it, like $50 weekly tournaments and stuff like that, just to like pull people in.
It was pretty. It was nothing.
Yeah, like it was actually kind of crazy, and like that even pulled in. I think that even pulled in a decent amount of viewers and created a lot of hype for the launch tourney. I don't exactly remember how many Twitch viewers it ended up getting, like back then, but I know for back then it was a lot for like pulling people in and everything like that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, competitive builds every game.
yeah, and I think the biggest thing, like for like us, I think it's just like as like a pro scene and everything like that. Like I feel like the higher ups with like all the problems that happened and everything. Like I feel like they kind of just like forgot where it all started, and like that kind of created all of this.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, competitive makes literally every esport or like every game. Like if you look at like, no one would know Valorant, Overwatch, any of these big games, even CS. No one would know about them, or they wouldn't be talked about nearly as much if it wasn't competitive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, especially Dota, fucking 40 mil.
Oh,
prize
dude,
pool.
the crowdfunding and everything like that. The massive
Yeah, I mean,
crowdfunding and everything. Yeah.
When you don't actually invest into your esports scene for a game that's like inherently competitive, I mean, it kind of kills the entire appeal of the game, and it kills like a lot of your publicity about your game. Like a lot of people just don't know about it if they don't know about competitive.
Yeah.
Like if CS:GO didn't have competitive, I mean, there would be a lot less people that were talking about it, playing it, etc.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing when like Valorant came out. Everyone was really scared of that. CS:GO is just kind of dead off of it, but CS:GO kind of kept their esports going and everything, and then now it's kind of like cycled back to more favoring CS:GO than Valorant again, just because they kind of kept it alive and kept putting the money into it, kept running all the tournaments. It's actually
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean,
Like,
CS tournaments are just kind of insane though.
yeah, I mean, when you're hosting events like that and like majors and everything like that, like, in my opinion, Smite has the same setup for that with their like their split ending tournaments. Like they have the full setup for it where they can host like three times a year and then plus worlds. Like there's just so much hype being created, and you can name it a major, you can name it whatever you want. Like I think Valorant names theirs majors as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest issues with the playoffs, right? I mean, other than them being in studio,
Mm-hmm.
uh, look at the Miskiff tourney, dude. The OTK tourney, they put 100K in the title, and everyone's like
Oh yeah,
so hyped for it.
everyone's eating that up.
The thing is, putting the money in the prize pool out there and making sure everyone knows how much it is so valuable. Like, look at our playoffs; they're like usually 100K, are they not?
Yep.
Yeah, so our playoffs are 100K for like the past year, and then this one, but no one knows how much money is. It's just playoffs.
Yeah,
playoff,
so many
phase
questions.
two,
Yeah.
phase two playoff, and it's like if they said 100K phase
Masters
two playoff,
land. That's what they call it,
like
Masters.
yeah, like Masters 100K Masters land, like there'd be a lot more hype around it. And Worlds, I'm pretty sure they don't even talk about how much money Worlds is anymore,
Yeah, I don't think they
right?
publicly do.
Like
As far as
imagine,
I know.
yeah, imagine if it was like our prize pool for Worlds is 1 million. Like it's already, I think it's 600K last year or something, but
months. If
they never
only
say the
Hi-Rez
number.
cared about the
Yeah,
process.
I think it's really
I think
important.
a big thing is stating the amount of money on the line for the tournament. That's what makes it people interested in it, know about it, and want to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if
for
they
sure.
said 1 million prize pool Worlds, like that would get a lot more people into it, or just be interested. I mean, it kind of proved with the OTK tourney, like 100K is pretty standard for tournaments for SPL, but I mean, no one ever hears about it, so they don't know.
Yep, I agree.
They just say like a good amount of money on the podcast, or like during the stream, they're like, yeah, they can get a lot of money here, but no one knows how much.
Yep. Yeah, it's actually like super unlucky that there's not more of that going around than like, dude, I swear if they did like actually Masters lands and stuff like that where people could go and everything like that, I swear they would actually do so good. Like if they just hosted their little like a little event three times a year, let's say it holds like 500 1K people and just do it 3 times for their 100K master lands, like I'm pretty sure they would sell out every single time.
Yeah,
And, like,
for sure.
off of that, you just create like a healthier esport, and like the drive for all players is so much more like, I don't know, like it's so obvious, like the difference from like going from a worlds, like let's say the last person that won, or like the last team that won in front of a crowd was what, SK, right?
Yeah.
Like all that hype, like it literally went, like there were so many people there that they had to take chairs from other venues to fill it up.
Pretty,
like it was packed.
was there. It was pretty scuffed.
Oh, dude, it was so packed. It was actually crazy. And then like,
Dude.
on no one can predict COVID, right? No one blames them for COVID or anything like that. But like that hype is like so insane. Like actually so insane. Like people love that stuff. They eat it up.
You know, if they did like instead of the playoffs or whatever, the Masters, if that was an actual event where people could come, it would probably do pretty well.
Yeah, like Halo recently, they just did their like first tournament ever or whatever, and they had like what, 1 million viewers. Like it was so much hype, and they had like drops enabled and everything like that. It was at a LAN, finally another LAN for Halo turning. Like it was so hype. So many people watched it. And it still does pretty good. Like they still have in-person tourneys. They do it every 3 months, I think. Like there's still so much hype behind it just because they're like that community is just so like land driven, and like seeing all the people and everything like that. It's just so important for like the esports side of things. And like Smite being built on esports, like I just feel like that's so important that they keep pushing it. And I feel like they should never forget that part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty. You kind of have to know how important esports is to any game, especially when it's competitive. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, again, imagine if Valorant didn't have an esports scene or they didn't invest into it. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think just just starting it up like from the very beginning, right? Like be like transparent to everybody here. Like we were brought into like a meeting and everything. We got information that like Worlds wasn't going to be in person, and then I mean it was just pretty like, I mean everyone was like really, I mean honestly everybody was pretty disheartened in that meeting, right? Like everyone was pretty down in the energy and everything. Like
I mean, I didn't go.
Oh yeah, you didn't go. Yeah, I guess it was just...
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not going to that.
Yeah, but dude, everybody in that meeting, like the games were over and everything like that, and then once everyone's just like, this is not gonna work, or like they don't want to do Worlds and everything like that. That was so disheartening for everyone. Like everyone was like, oh, dude, everyone was not a happy camper there.
I mean, that's the whole purpose. Like having a big Worlds event is literally everything. Like imagine if Worlds was actually like at least 1 mil.
Right.
Like at least if it was 1 mil, and they stated that this Worlds is $1 million on the line for these teams, and then it's in person. Like people are gonna like, okay, first of all, I guarantee teams would break up right now. If the prize pool for Worlds is more valuable, some teams that don't think that they can win Worlds would probably break up at least some of their better players to try to leave and make a better team so that they could win Worlds. But when Worlds isn't that valuable right now, you're kind of more incentivized to clock in and just try to perform well with the season, right? And enjoy
for sure
your team.
Yep.
But I mean, there's not that big of an incentive to win Worlds when it comes to like you're playing online. There's just, I mean, don't get me wrong, 600K is a lot of money, right?
Right.
But you know, if you don't think that you have an amazing shot at it, I mean, you might as well just chill with your boys and have a good time and try to win the 3 tournaments that go out through the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I guarantee some teams that break up if Worlds is worth more. I guarantee it.
Karate Kitten 426 just subscribed.
This is like more of a healthier like
amount.
just esports scene in general. Just having all of the tournaments and everything.
I mean, look at the publicity that OTK tourney brought.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, that was so hype. Even though it was like new people completely, like, dude, it was actually so hype to watch it. Like, all the new players coming in and everything like that. Oh, dude. It's actually so cool.
Other than the fact that it's OTK, right? It's a pretty big org right now, and
Yeah.
all the streamers that played it,
Blanking 15 just
labeling,
subscribed.
just
For
making these tournaments
amount,
happen,
thanks.
and labeling the amount of money that these tournaments are worth, just brings so many eyes to the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If they just come out and say 500k prize pool for whatever tournament, like people are gonna like instantly be
Have eyes
talking
on
about
it.
Smite.
Yeah.
There's gonna be eyes on it when you put out that number amount. Like people are gonna be interested. Like when you, what was it? The first Worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fucking 3.6 mil, whatever.
I think it was like 2.6.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 3.6.
That might have been, yeah. Probably.
I'm pretty sure it's 3.6. 2.6?
Maybe.
Okay, whatever. whatever million amount it was, bro.
Right.
It was a big ass number.
Oh yeah.
Right? And the fact is, Smite, if they didn't do that first tournament, there'd be so many, like, such less players. Like, there'd be almost no one. Like, having that huge amount of money brought so many eyes to the game, and it inspired so many people to become good at the game, play it a lot, and try their best to be good at it.
Oh yeah.
Like, imagine if that tournament never happened. And I think they labeled that one. Like, I remember a bunch of articles and everyone talking about how Smite was like, that's a fuck ton of money if you win that.
And then instantly all the big sponsor or big orgs came in, like Cloud9, TSM, Dig,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of money involved.
They instantly joined in and they're like, holy shit. All right, this has like so much potential. And then the year after was super scuffed, and it sucks for sure that they reduced it, which is, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Smite was making a lot less money back then.
Oh, it definitely was, for sure.
Like they were they're a pretty small game, a lot less money. Now they're a bigger game, make a lot more money, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they should be making a 2.6 whatever million prize pool it is.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't be doing that every time, right? But just investing in it and setting this dollar amount and like publicizing it, they bring so many eyes to the game. And I mean, just imagine if, I mean, I've already talked about it, but like if any of these other games that you hear about all the time that like consistently stay alive throughout the years, like any of the other competitive games, if there wasn't these big tournaments happening and the competitive scene wasn't active, I mean, they just die. Like, I'm sure some people would play it and I'm sure they would still be profitable, but like that's what makes your game huge.
Yeah.
And
no, I agree.
And I mean, Smite's competitive scene is a really good competitive scene. It's just not invested in as much as it should be.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're definitely investing into it, especially now. Like, I feel like the profit that they make now is actually just so much. And I just feel like if they, like, I don't know if it's just like a trust thing or like they don't want to, obviously they don't want to take the risk or whatever. It's a business after all, but like.
The last Worlds was 400K.
It was 400.
400K.
Sheesh. No, that. It goes down every year.
It goes down every year. Who knows? Maybe it's going to be 200K this year. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, dude, having an event just so important, major event, especially with Worlds.
You get 50K per player, and then with taxes, it's probably like around 30ish K, right?
I don't know.
It's like 30. I thought it was 600
this year.
No, it's 400K last year.
Huh.
So if you win the biggest tournament of the year, you win the world fucking championship, you get like 30K. Don't be wrong, 30K is a lot of money. But I mean, for winning the biggest tournament of the year, compared to if you win one Masters or one playoff, I mean, you get like 10K or something, right?
Yep, 10K.
So I mean, what the fuck is that, bro?
Yeah, I mean, they did end up. I mean, the reason why they reduced it all is just so they can pay everyone, like, salary and everything like that, because it is all in house. I think the biggest thing though, like, it has been a successful in house thing, right? So far, obviously they've had issues with merch and everything like that, but outside that, all the studio games and everything, LAN games, everything has been, in my opinion, going really smoothly. I just think it's more now just, like, higher-ups just should realize, one, especially after today with all of the community support and everything like that, I feel like the higher-ups really should recognize that their game, it really is built on their esport, and they should be investing a lot more money into the game for their esport side of stuff.
At least when it comes, there's a difference, right? Because, you know, like casual audience, I think they can look at that and be like, okay, that's where we make our majority of our money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, there's a lot of games that can kind of just chill with their casual players, right? But competitive is what makes your game known, and it's like it's kind of your main PR for a game at a certain point.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
It's the main advertisement. Like, oh, there's a huge competitive scene. There's a bunch of money. Oh, look at all these players. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think just if these tournaments were worth more, they were more special, right? Because I mean, even the Masters tournament, like, I don't know, bro. I really don't care that we lost Masters. I'm gonna be honest.
For
like,
16 months.
going into
Let's
it,
go hashtag
I mean, we're just clocking into the
worldswithfans.
studio, man. It's just
Oh yeah, I mean, it
weird
feels like shit when you play all your games as normal and then go on a major tournament.
If we played Masters at an event, and just add me on Discord, Deathwalker. If I lost Masters at a stage, I would feel like shit. I would feel much worse.
But,
oh yeah,
I mean, for sure.
I lost in the studio that I've won and lost in.
Yeah, all the time, right?
Already.
It's
like it just feels like another day.
Yeah. No, I agree for sure.
I mean, it's just these events need to be special, and they need to have more prizing on the line, and it needs to be publicized, saying this is the amount of money that you can win. Oh, and that's a big thing for growing your game and getting people to come into it. Because the same thing. Sure. When I was playing fucking Smite back in the day, and I saw 2.6 mil, whatever. I don't know what it is, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, it was 2.6.
Okay, 2.6. I mean, that brought in so many players to want to be good at the game. It brings in so many people.
I mean, I've been playing.
It makes people committed to your game.
Yeah, I think you've been playing as well for a long ass time. But like, I played during the weekly tourneys and shit. Like when that was happening, that was hype as fuck for like me, just be playing. I mean, obviously I was like 12 or something. Fuck, 12, 13 or something when I first started playing. But like, that stuff is just so hype to watch, and it's like. Especially after the first Worlds tourney, I don't think anyone is gonna forget that first Worlds tourney. It's just so hype, and it actually blew up the game so much that it could have popped off and went like crazy. I remember back then, like people were speculating that that it would like match up with it would match up with the League, because I think League's popped off season 6. I think was their like pop off year that just kind of blew them up. Like crazy out of so sudden. And yeah, I just kind of wish, I mean, obviously I wish that they would just invest more and realize how important the esports side of things are. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. It's just having the dollar amount out there. Yeah, good.
Wait, could you give me like a quick rundown, like where you're at right now? Is this a... Like, you know, I kind of just joined in. Did you guys plan this out or what?
We didn't plan shit out. We're just talking.
Yeah.
We're just shooting the shit right now. But I mean, we can talk about the big W today. So, I think the best thing about today is that the majority of the community that I saw wasn't hostile and just basically toxic, right? The majority of what I saw were people just really saying how much Worlds meant to them, and just asking for it to come back. And luckily, I think, who knows? I mean, Steve tweeted, yeah, okay. But
I mean, no way you could go back after that. No way you could back down after tweeting that.
I can't imagine being a CEO of a company and getting like everyone begging for you to bring Worlds back, and then you tweet, yeah, okay, and then say that we're not bringing back Worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
Surely it's confirmed, right? Yeah. Surely. Because that would just be a very bad play.
Pretty positive if they don't do Worlds like live, especially after him saying that, and especially given their reasoning, because Variety already given their reasoning right publicly. I'm pretty sure that might be it for Smite Esports. Like that might just cross the line so far that it just kind of ends the whole thing. It's also crazy how much. Yeah, no way. It's also crazy, like I mean, you guys might have already covered it, but I've never seen so many people unified.
Oh yeah, it was actually awesome, and it was like respectful as well, which is the biggest thing ever. I think it's so good that everything was like respectful. I mean, some of it wasn't, but majority of it was pretty respectful.
The majority of it was respectful.
Yeah,
I like the disrespectful ones.
Yeah,
I mean there were some
good ones.
You can't blame the boys. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Exactly.
But I'm glad the majority of it was respectful, and. That just, I mean, it should have never gotten to this in the first place is the main thing, right?
Yep.
Like, you should never have been in the position where there's actually no in-person worlds when it's completely feasible to do it. It should have never happened. It should have never even gotten to this point where the whole community had to band together and basically have an outcry, because that's the only way we could have gotten it changed.
Is there like insight on how much the prize pool is for Worlds?
No.
No, I don't think it's
No?
I underscore
Honestly, I don't even think we
Sojikin
know
just resubscribed.
You don't know?
for 47
Okay.
months. Hashtag
Probably not.
worlds
Do you
with
feel
fans,
like
hashtag
this
bring
could
back
be sort of like a
crowdfunding.
trade-off? You know, there is gonna be an in-person Worlds, but they tone down the prize pool. Maybe, you know, maybe they're like
200k worlds.
No, I actually don't think they would do it.
Little.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it would cause the same exact problem.
it
think
would,
it's just-
it would, but
Like you just
would they go to that extent?
I mean, you just go in a loop, right? Like then
I think the
you have
thing
the
is,
problem of
there-
like there's no motivation for it because it's literally no money. Like people put in a whole
Yeah.
years of work and then it's nothing pretty much. Like you just can't go. You just can't go in an infinite loop like that. Surely they know that. Surely.
Early.
Yeah. Sure.
But I mean, I hope that after this, like the biggest thing I think the higher ups at Hi-Rez should take away is that like their game is truly built on the esports side. You had all the pro players tweeting and everything like that, and then all the community kind of just backed them on it. And I feel like off that, they should definitely be like, okay, maybe the esports side of Smite is really what we should be putting our money into and helping that out.
Yeah. True. I think they're in a
Ooh, I'm
position
having
where
a-
they can take a pretty big W here.
Yep.
I mean, the fact that they really, I mean, it's a really bad look to just say we're not going to do it when we can do it. It's a really bad look, but they're in a position where they can actually get a pretty big W here if they actually make in-person worlds happen, and it's actually good money. I mean, it could overall be a really good takeaway.
Yep.
I mean, on top of,
I agree.
I mean, I think the biggest thing here is that Smite is in such a great position, like with the OTK tourney. The game has been growing at a good pace. All the crossovers, there's a lot of eyes in the game, a lot of new players coming in. It's just Smite's really healthy right now, and it's on the up, right? And then you have something like this that almost happened. I mean,
Yep.
hopefully it doesn't happen.
Yeah, how
But
unfortunate of
if-
timing with the Nickelodeon thing too. Like
Yeah, that is
that is
rough, 'cause
actually
those-
so unlucky because it's sick.
That's a sick crossover.
Oh yeah.
Just unlucky timing for
Yeah.
that, but yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing, right? Is like there's polar opposites. Like the actual game is doing amazing, and then here they are on their esports side, just completely fucking trolling,
Yep.
and that's kind of like where I think a lot of resentment can happen, where it's just like, how can the game be doing so great, but they're just basically shitting on the esports scene like that?
Yeah, I was gonna touch on that quite a bit actually, because I kind of disagree with what you said, Ven. I don't think this game is built around esports, not at all. Not
Really?
considering, not considering what they've been doing lately. Like for so many years, I feel like it's been getting kind of gutted more and more.
Well, I think
First, it started with like international scene going away, then it started with EU going away, and now you're basically just like kind of okay. I mean, my very brutal take is you're just kind of going there. You're doing your job every week, like playing a couple sets, and that's it. These games have no like weight on them,
Yep. Yeah, I'm more
I mean,
saying
it's just
like,
because of the tournaments, though, right?
well, I'm more saying because
And-
like the weekly tourneys, right? There, that's what built Smite. Those weekly tournaments that led up to the launch tourney, that then led up to the season 1 worlds, like that built their game. That's what their game's based on. Whether
that's what you mean.
they
Okay,
don't
okay.
they don't realize
Yeah.
it, and hopefully they realize it now. But like, that's what built their game, and they should start to realize that again. Like maybe it's a wake up
Well,
call that the
those-
whole community
tournaments-
basically blew up on them and was like, "Hey, you got to pay attention to the esports side. This is actually really important."
I mean, do you guys really think Smite would have blown up if it weren't for those weekly tournaments, into the launch tournament hype,
No.
into the
No,
into
this game
the
would be
huge 2.6 million worlds hype?
Yeah,
Like,
that-
I mean, the
that's
season 1 Worlds
2.6
was so
the
big.
game-
Oh yeah, that 2.6
like-
mil fucking tournament made this game. Like,
yeah, no, like when you
Yep,
look back
yep,
at
100%,
it, all
100%.
these
Yeah.
all these tournaments that happened made the game and made it popular and known.
Yep, I agree.
And that's why if you look back at that, like what originally gave your game the popularity it has today, I mean, that just should show you how important esports is.
Yep, agreed.
Yep, true.
True.
No, I thought you meant like I thought you were talking about like the current couple.
Oh,
of
not
years,
current.
because
No.
in the
No.
current, like, you know what?
No
Like
one-
I just
no
want
one's
to
happy
bash
with the
it. Like the
current.
whole
Oh,
time,
yeah.
I just want to bash like the current.
Yeah, no, not the current, but like previously, like I don't know. I just feel like it's a wake up call for them to be like, okay, like the esports side of things and their fans and everything, they're still there. Like, maybe that's a wake up call for them to be like, okay, maybe we put some more money into the esports side, because that is what is keeping our game alive.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah, and you said how the games have like no weight on them. That's because of the tournaments being so lackluster.
No.
Yep.
If there were
If
still
these
lands
tournaments
and
are
stuff,
special and yeah, I mean, if these
You
tournaments
like-
are special and there's somewhere else other than just the studio,
Yup.
and there's a decent amount of money on the line and it's publicized, like people would be so interested in it.
Yeah.
You compete at the studio to then compete at the studio,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
at the end of the year, dude, the peak, you compete at the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
No, it's fucking rough for sure.
Yeah.
Like I remember after season 4 Worlds, like a random like I don't know what it was. It was like a hype up tournament to start the year in Vegas. I don't know if you remember that, DW, but
Yeah,
we had a
remember that.
random tournament that was in Vegas. I don't even remember what it was for. I literally think it was just a hype match for it. But that was so sick, traveling out and having a random tournament that was so scuffed. But God, it was so fun. I just missed that. Like those tournaments should just happen more often. Like they definitely have connections that they can get stuff done. They just haven't been doing it.
I wish I could have been there for Vegas, man. Now, granted, back then I was like a bit too young. Probably couldn't have done anything.
Yeah,
in
I couldn't
Vegas,
do
but,
anything either, but it was
know,
fun.
like-
It was fun.
I mean,
just
yeah,
to
the
be there.
idea of it, like,
Yeah,
and I missed out on that, man. I mean,
Yeah.
the only one that I've seen other than Worlds or that I've been to was the Valencia one.
Mhm.
And then other than that, I don't think they've ever even done. Yeah, other than that, that was the last one, right? Season 4, and then season 5 it was only studio.
Yep. Yeah, it was the
And then they
Splice
transferred
one,
over
right?
to-
Yeah, it was just studio. Yeah.
And then they went over to DreamHack as well, which, you know, you, you can argue about DreamHack a little bit, but hey, at least it was in person. You know, there were still crowds.
That's
and
what I think it is. Yeah. I think the big thing for like of the other games like outside of Smite, right, that CS and Valorant and everything that their major successful is due to their majors, right? And Smite has a similar format, but theirs are just Masters lands. I feel like they can do those like 3 times a year venues plus the Worlds, just have smaller ones throughout the year. Just get a smaller group of the community together, have an in-person event for those lands. It creates a lot more hype for the players and the fans. And I mean, that's just more like driven or more player driven and passion and everything to have lands away from the studio.
what I kind of dreamed of when I joined in on this whole competitive thing in Smite, dude. And
Oh, yeah,
ever
for
since
sure.
season 5, they say they're gonna push for something, but they never really do it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a letdown for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, no bashing on the esports management side because they have been crushing it and they work fucking hard. It's more just higher up stuff. All higher up stuff is the main issue when it comes to this stuff.
I mean, yeah, you know, I'm a fan of bashing. I'm sorry, I'm just a fan of bashing. I kind of just want to. Well, I guess you could find who's responsible for it at the end of the day. I don't know if it's the greatest idea ever to just bash some random dude that probably has nothing to do with it, but
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think it was just.
it-
All I know is it was just a group, and it's just the higher up group. I mean,
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
mean,
they all
the
say as well. Like with the higher ups, is always the.
Well, I
higher
mean,
ups.
the esports department is great, dude. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if you
They've
talk
been
to
owning.
anyone in the esports department, like, they all try their absolute hardest, dude.
Yup.
I mean, they put in so much work and so many hours and trying to like develop so many new things that can happen, right? But I mean, eventually, it just always comes to upper management whether or not something's going to happen. And I mean, a lot of the stuff gets shut down. I mean, it's just that's why we're kind of just saying like overall investing in esports is just so much. It's
Mhm.
really important, right? I mean, like Jithin's recently. I mean, that guy's literally been hard carrying.
Oh yeah, he's been fucking owning, dude. 9 ping
Dude,
LAN server, dude.
What were the servers before? It was like what 30, 40 ping, like normal, right?
45, yeah, 50, yeah.
Yeah,
Holy
we
shit,
had,
he's behind that.
Oh yeah, Jithins
no,
is fucking carrying. Yeah.
we originally came
Okay.
in like, playing in the studio. We would have standard ping, like
Yep.
if we were playing at our house. We come into the studio. Jithins came in, dude. He literally fixed everything.
Yep.
He made our audio setup way better. He would get us patches early so we could actually practice on it. He would work like all the time, dude.
Fixed spectator. Yeah, we talked
Fixed
about
spectator.
it. Yep. He was the sole one that fucking owned the spectator department.
Yeah, and then he brought our ping down to like 15, and
It's
then
9
last
now.
week,
Yeah.
and last week it was 9 ping. And we were talking about like just recently, like a few months ago, before Jithins made the ping like really good. we were saying like the lowest. We remember we were after scrims and we were just talking about like what ping we were playing on. Like we've never played on like 10 ping. Like that's never happened before.
Yeah.
And like all the Worlds events, right? Like I don't remember what Bear said that his ping was at Worlds, but yeah, I mean the ping was never been that low ever. And we're playing on 9 ping, which is insane. That used to be like a huge thing that has been around since literally just now. There's always horrible ping playing on LAN, and it's just like everyone would question, how can you not have good ping when you're playing at LAN?
Oh yeah.
And then Jitins comes in and there's fucking 9 ping, dude. The guy is carrying in there. Deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the 30-40 ping LAN. I mean, I remember that one LAN where it was like 80 plus.
Oh yeah,
it was
like
playing,
lagging like
on your
crazy.
You'd be basically playing on your home setup at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you were, dude.
Yeah, no, he's been crushing it, and he got us like private servers and shit for us as well. Like it has been a fucking fantastic time.
He's
The
he's
esports
always
side
working
of
hard on the servers.
the esports side of stuff is fucking crushing it, especially with how small of a crew that they have. Like overall, it's actually crazy how much they're getting done. Like it is fantastic. The production that they were putting out. Like I really hope that the fucking upper management just starts putting in some more money because they deserve it over there.
If the community only knew how little people were working in the esports department,
Oh yeah,
and like
sure.
the amount of great things that they're doing with such little people and such little funding. I mean, it's just there's not very much investment, right? Like all those people in there really care about Smite and they work really hard.
Yep.
So it's just whenever things like this happen, you can never like, at least hopefully no one ever directs their blame towards the esports department.
Yep. Agreed.
They work super hard.
They've been fucking owning.
I mean, so the decision to keep Worlds, well, he talked about not worth the investment, right? Do you guys, like, I'll ask a question. Like, what do you think is the percentage of Smite player base that regularly watches SPL or at least, like, knows about it?
Probably a decent amount,
I mean-
but I think the worst thing is that Smite game is always on, so people actually don't know when it's on. Like, you know when
think the thing
LCS is on,
is-
LEC, LCK, because they go live only for their game, so they have a lot more viewers, right? But when Smite game is always on, you don't know when it's actually time for SPL. No one actually knows. It's just there. Always on. And
Yeah, it's always there, and then you think, like, okay, maybe someone's playing, I'll go check it out, and then it's just, like, some guy streaming.
Yep.
Like-
Oh, yeah, no, it's not... yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
could
mean,
you
There's
could
not
you
really
give an
much
answer,
play
though?
around that.
Oh,
Like,
how much, like,
if you had to give a number, like a percentage.
of, like, players...
Yeah, let's say there's like 100,000 players playing Smite right now, and then how many do you think would know about SPL?
would know
I
about
mean,
it?
there's a lot of people that don't even play Smite but still watch SPL.
Yeah, I would actually think it would have to be at least half, in my opinion, that know.
I mean, you'd be surprised. I
Yeah,
feel like a
like,
lot
a
of
lot-
people that
whenever-
A lot of people
there's
come
a lot
out
of
when
people
it's
that don't play the
Worlds.
game.
Like that's
Yeah.
how you know.
don't get-
Like when Worlds
I was
is and
gonna
the
get to that.
promotion is there, like that's how you know.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that because whenever there's an actual big relevant tournament, when something's on the line, and it's like in a kind of interesting location,
Yep.
there's a hell of a lot of people watching.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I mean, during SPL, even during Masters, right? Like I mean, the viewership wasn't particularly impressive. It wasn't really much more than just a regular SPL game. At the end of the day, I guess it is, but it's crazy how much of the people know about it, but just can't be bothered watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not interesting, right? Like a lot of if you ask like the community, right, that know about the SPL or these tournaments. I mean, I know for a fact a lot of people thought Last Worlds was insanely boring. I mean, including the players.
Including the fucking players, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah, it was boring.
and that just comes back to these tournaments aren't special. They don't feel special. You don't know how much money's on the line during it. And I mean, it's just people aren't interested because they don't make it interesting.
Yep. I agree.
But there's so many people that care when there's effort put into it. They actually show up and enjoy it. But because it's so low effort, they just like have no reason to really show up.
Well, I mean, imagine if they. I mean, another thing too is that I think, at least for me, the scheduling for SPL or these tournaments has been really confusing. I don't know if it's confusing to me, it's probably confusing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of the times you don't even know when these tournaments are happening. You don't even know when teams are playing. It feels like the communication's a little bit scuffy.
Yeah,
But,
I agree.
I mean, imagine if Hi-Rez came out, right? And they stated, we're hosting Smite Masters in fucking Amsterdam, right? And it's going to be...
Whoa, that would be sick.
And then you say, okay, we have a venue that can hold 1,000 people. Just like something small. I don't know, like 500, whatever number.
Mm-hmm.
They say, we're hosting Masters in Amsterdam, and there's going to be a venue. You can buy tickets. You can come to it. And there's 100K, 200K on the line, whatever the tournament's worth. They say, Smite Masters in Amsterdam, 100K on the line. You can come. I mean, there would be a lot of people watching that, and I'm sure a lot of people would come to that. That would feel special. That would raise interest. People would want to watch that and see that and go to it. But I mean, when they say Masters, it's in the fucking studio again, man. And no one knows how much money it's for. No one cares.
Yep.
It's just not interesting.
It's just so hard to like make the studio. I mean, given our fucking studio, right? It's hard to make that like special. You know what I mean?
I mean, at the end of the day, pro matches are content. It's content. It's entertainment for fans.
No.
And when you repeat the same process year after year after year, with no change, and there's nothing to try to make it interesting, the content gets stale, man. You're watching the same team playing in the same area, playing for the same prizing that you don't even know how much it is. No. I mean, it's just not entertaining at that point. It's content. You need to make content entertaining for people, and it's just not entertaining, and it shows.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. I think the best thing they could have done is after that OTK event, announce Worlds being in studio, and then you can buy tickets then, and get that like digital loot pack bundle or whatever the fuck. Like instantly, you just gas that, and then you just pull so many of the new players, and you grow your pro scene by just tweeting that alone for all the new players. They're like, oh, wow, this game has a pro scene. I'll check it out once in a while. Let me see how it looks, and like you just create all that new like fan base, player base right into the pro scene.
I mean, they could have literally done what Haddock said, like, let's say Amsterdam, right? They could have literally done that for this next Masters as well. You know, you have this, like, OTK. I mean, it was announced, like, a month in advance or something, and they probably knew a couple months in advance. So, like, if you know it's gonna explode, sort of, and you get, like, this influx of new players, new viewers.
Right.
And then you can, like, even hit with a little bit of a smaller budget LAN, you know, not quite World Championship at Cobb or shit like that, but something interesting to catch someone's eye, as Haddox was saying. But they could have literally done it, like, right now for this next Masters LAN, rather than have it at the studio, have it be
that's all, like, I feel like off of this event, the higher-ups would be like, okay, maybe we actually put money into that and be like, all right, yo, ship these guys out of here. Bring them to a different country or some shit. Make something happen.
I mean, it would have been so fun as well. So many people watching as well.
You just have to make content entertaining, dude. At the end of the day,
yeah,
it is what it is. I mean, it's content. It's the same process. It's just not entertaining. If they do things to spice it up, make it interesting, make people care, it will work, dude. I mean, I think speaking for, anyone in chat, how many of you actually thought Masters was like some big event? How important did it feel to you? Because I'm sure for most people, it didn't feel that important. Most people didn't even know what was happening.
No.
I'm sometimes even surprised you guys scrim as often as you do, you know? Like, you scrim so much to, like, play an SPL game, yeah.
Everyone in my chat is saying, I don't know what that is. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, not
or
very.
I thought it was another SPL weekend.
Yeah. They were like 10% more than SPL.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like no one really noticed.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you actually market it and you make it special, yeah, like literally no one in my chat knew it happened. They don't know what it is, or they didn't really care for it. It was boring.
Yeah.
Like that just kind of goes to show.
I think the biggest thing as well,
like you have to market it and make it entertaining and make it special, and that will bring eyes to it.
Yeah. The esports side have been doing a really good job of showcasing, SML now? Like, they're doing a really good job, and they're inclusive of them in their tournaments and stuff like that. Like, SML was in last Masters LAN. They're going to be in this Masters LAN. Hopefully, I'm not leaking something.
Oh, hell yeah. You get to see me this time around. I'm not traveling.
And then I'm guessing that they're going to keep including them, and they're going to be in the Masters line after that, and probably going to be in some way for Worlds, right? Like they're going to keep including them, which is nice because at least it keeps the EU scene there, right? It keeps the amateur league there, and just has that going. But like then at the point when once it goes to an event and it's somewhere else that's not like away from the studio, then you have like the whole like pro scene of SML and everything. Like you have them all there. Like there's so much like Haddix is saying, like there's so much content there to be made, and then you have like the stage that you're playing on and everything like that. It showcases the SML players, brings new hypes, brings new names.
Dude, honestly,
into the game.
I think having the SEC teams come in and try to like do the qualifying matches, or even the OTK tournament, like, is more interesting than the Masters that happened recently.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like,
well, everyone was saying that
everyone.
the qualification tournament was more hype than the Worlds that just happened.
Someone's bugging again. Yo.
It's
Hold on.
better than like the last 2,
There we go.
3.
Are we good now?
Yeah, I think so.
We're good. We're good. Deathwalker, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay,
What
we're good.
The server
died.
keeps
In
bugging.
Discord.
happened?
Discord scuffed.
Yeah. But yeah,
Well,
people,
all I said, I don't know if you guys caught it. I just said that like this OTK tournament was probably like more exciting than the last 2 Worlds combined.
oh yeah, for
no,
sure.
That's I was just saying, like, I think the SEC tournaments and everything, those are more interesting than even the Worlds or the Masters. Like, it's just really stale.
No,
OTK
That's what
more
we bring
interesting than the
over
last
there
2
at
Worlds.
Six Number,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I mean, people were just saying that. What's it called? The play-in or the like to play into the league to get into the league. Like that tournament was more hype than the Worlds.
yeah. It was.
No, it was
Because
good. No,
yeah,
dude.
like it was actually so hype. I was fucking locked in when I was watching. I was like, holy shit, this is actually awesome. Imagine that was like obviously not everyone could have made it, but imagine if it was all there, all in person, everything. That would have been so sick.
But I mean, I think time and time again, it shows there is interest in competitive Smite. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of interest. A lot of people would love to watch it. But the thing is, it's just falling flat on its face because they're not. I mean, the higher ups just aren't letting it be interesting. To put it like, frankly, I mean, I'm sure the esports department would go absolutely insane if they were given the means to do so. But they
Dude,
aren't.
if they had league funding, dude, fucking Smite would be crazy right now. Unfortunately, they
Dude,
don't.
they're just trying their absolute hardest over there in the higher ups to make Smite the most casual game possible.
Yeah.
They like
yeah.
Yeah,
they're
pretty
like
much.
I mean they're I'm pretty sure they're like one bad experience away from just shutting down SPL completely at this rate.
Well, I think they
Which
know
is sad.
that they need the esports scene. I actually do think
well,
they
know.
every
need
game-
it, but like
every game needs it.
I'm a little worried, because if you remember Heroes of the Storm, just shut
Oh yeah,
that
no,
down.
yeah, but once that died, didn't the game die with it? Once the esports
Pretty
scene died?
much.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I mean, they still play it casually, but I definitely don't think it's very
Yeah.
relevant anymore.
And I mean, look at Paladins, right? They closed that down and that game died.
Yep.
Like,
Dude, someone said Hazer marketed Masters better than SPL, and honestly, I kind of agree, bro.
Probably.
Probably.
A lot of the time, I know what's happening because Hazer's tweeting it. To be honest.
oh yeah, no, I
know-
agree. For sure.
Yeah, like, which is kind of crazy. And I feel like the communication just could be a lot better.
I mean, so the communication is just like the bare minimum, right? They're just kind of putting it out there, but they're not really putting any effort into letting people know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
But at the
if
same time, how much do you even want to let people know about just like another, showdown at the
Yeah.
studio or something?
Well, I don't think anything will happen this year outside of the Worlds, hopefully. But like next year, I really do think that like they can hard capitalize on everything. Like go into this year's Worlds, right? It be in person, hopefully.
Jesus
On
Christ.
center stage, they go GOAT mode and be like, next year we're gonna have fucking 3 LAN events in person for every Masters. Like they can go actually crazy with it and just lock stuff in, like lock it down. And then there's so much like hype for the next season, right? Like so many people are gonna try to get in if there's gonna be more LAN events, more community events, and pulling people in. Even just like that random fucking tournament after season 4 Worlds, like that was so hype.
Dude, also the All-Stars events where just
Yeah.
pros get around and like
Mhm.
fuck around.
Wait, they
before-
shut those down
like,
as
in
well. They
preseason.
stopped doing that, right?
Yeah, those I
they're
feel like
bringing
those
it
are
back
like
this year, though.
insane content farms. Like those are amazing to have.
Yeah, they're
And
hilarious.
it's a lot of fun for the players. Yeah.
Yeah, they're bringing that back this year, as far as I know.
When?
The craziest thing to me,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
surely, it
Surely
happens,
sometime
right?
soon. Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna announce it soon, dude.
Soon to be announced. Yeah, I don't know. I think the craziest thing to me, as of recent, is like the 100K. People were so hyped over just 100K in the OTK tournament, and that's because it was like that was like the main marketing tool. Like it's a 100K tournament,
Yep.
and it's so simple, dude. If you just put in a good amount of money, and then you use that money as your marketing tool, it literally always works. If you
Yep.
say Masters event, fucking 200K, 100K, that will bring so many eyes to it, and it's crazy because like so many people in my chat are always like, dude, 100K, that's crazy. 100K tourney, that's insane. And it's
No.
like
No, yeah.
that's like there's literally three playoffs, or at least there was last year.
Mhm.
Surely there's three this year. But there was three playoffs last year, and I'm pretty sure they were all 100K each. But the money that was put into that tournament, it was never used as marketing. And like, so a lot of people think that like this 100K tournament is like an insane amount of money for Smite, when it's like they literally run 3 of these a year on top of Worlds, and it's just like, I think it kind of shows. Now, of course, people were excited about the big streamers, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people were interested in it because of the money, like, and it doesn't change the fact that I've heard a lot of people type in my chat or seen a lot of people say 100K is like an insane amount of money for a tournament.
And not only
And it's
that,
just-
they promoted that really well. Like that was a
Yeah, I mean,
really
it's-
well promoted tournament
Yeah.
from both sides.
Yeah. I feel like it should just be a really easy takeaway to just use money as a marketing tool. A lot of people do it. Twitch Rivals, OTK, all these tournaments that are hosted by streamers, etc. They all use the money. Like, okay, no one actually, like, okay, let's say OTK. They don't give a fuck about 100K. Like, that's like kind of whatever. But they use it as a marketing tool. Everyone uses it as a marketing tool.
It just creates so
I mean,
much
if
hype
there's
for
money
those
involved,
people that are in
are
it.
interested.
Yeah. Also,
I
just
mean,
for
it's
like the
just
players
I
that
think
are in
it's a
it.
good takeaway for Hi-Rez.
Oh yeah, like even for the people that like even if 100K isn't a lot to a lot of the big streamers or whatever that joined in, it's also just creating a lot like of hype for them and giving them like eyes on them, on their stream, on this and that and that. Like that's why I think it's a pretty big flaw to have in Smite that when we are playing in the studio, obviously not everybody would want to have their perspective stream, but I really do think that in the studio there should be perspective streaming while you're playing.
Yeah.
I feel like people would eat that up. Like actually eat that up.
Is
It's
Smite
probably the more
dying?
fun
Why
way
are the World's
to-
prize pool going down?
Yeah,
the
probably the
thing
more
is-
fun way to watch Smite right now, I think. Like, if you watch a player's perspective.
Oh yeah. No yeah, it's actually so sick. Perspective.
Alright, go on, Haddock, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was reading chat. I thought I was muted.
You're good, you're good.
Oh, okay.
Someone said, "Is Smite dying? Why are the prize pools going down?" And that's the issue, right? Smite is actually succeeding probably more than ever.
It's fucking
as of
pogging off
recently.
right now.
It's like Smite is literally popping. They're
Mhm.
like whoever's working on marketing for Smite, they are going crazy. Just saying, with
Yeah,
these
they're on it.
crossovers and
Mhm.
and the OTK tournament, I mean, like Smite is popping as of lately, and it's always been steadily going up. But that's the issue, right? Is the game is popping off, but they're continuing to just let the esports scene dwindle.
Yep.
That's the thing.
They're fucking owning. I thought
Yeah, I mean,
like for esports side, sorry to cut you off, Nita, but for esports side, like I thought Alienware was really good for them to get. They got Maxnomic. Now they have like Twitch, the Twitch Prime thing. Like that's really hyped to get. Like they're pulling good stuff. But I do think that they should really be like pumping that and like really promoting it and do some like league style stuff now that they actually have the tech to be doing that stuff of like promoting the sponsors in game and stuff because it's on its separate stuff, like a separate area, right? So they can do a lot more things to the game and promote a lot of the like sponsors and stuff that they get in game where it doesn't affect like gameplay or anything for everyone.
I want to add to like your thing where you were talking about like using money as the marketing tool. I mean that's like kind of the main thing behind Dota's TI, right? I mean
True.
all
Fucking
you're really
true.
doing is like, whoa, dude, $42 million prize pool. You got no clue what the game's about, but you watch it anyways.
Yeah.
Or like missed every Mr. Beast video ever. You know, oh, I just
I mean-
spent $200,000 buying ice cream. You know, like
Yeah.
yeah, sure, I'll watch
No,
it.
yeah.
I want to see what like a 200K ice cream looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I mean, that's how it is. Money is a massive marketing tool. Wherever money is, people are going to be interested in literally anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, if you look at the first worlds that Barra won, and shit, I mean, they use money as the marketing tool there, right? And
Yep.
they haven't. Like, no one. I didn't even know Worlds is fucking 400K last year. To be honest, I had no fucking clue. The year before, I think it was 600K or something.
They
but-
literally lower it. They lower it every year. This is actually
Yeah, they
criminal.
do.
They lower it every single year, but they don't say it. Like
Yeah,
they don't
well,
really, or sorry, they like say it, but you know, they might as well have been quiet about it because they really don't let anyone know about it.
Yep.
But they're lowering it every single
No,
year.
dude, if they did
But that's the thing
crowdfunding
though,
right
right?
now, oh, dude, with how much profit Smite skins make, man, oh my god, dude.
I mean, imagine if there was just one skin. They made one skin that went towards World's prize pool. One skin.
Now, I just think you make a bundle of, and it's just a skin for every single team that's in the league, and all of that money goes right
You're
to.
asking for a lot here. That's
Well, it's just,
That's
I
a
mean,
lot.
Whoa, every team? Are you serious? I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
literally make an
like, they did it
esports
before.
specific skin, right? And
The
it's
way they
not
did it
fucking
before was just-
t-shirt glasses, all right? So it
Well,
actually
what about the
sells.
Odyssey that they did before, dude? Like, where did that go? You know, like,
Well, because I mean,
like for season 1 Worlds, it was just an Odyssey that was crowdfunding. Then they did it for season 5 as well, but the season 5 one, you know, if I really have to go deeper on the season 5 one, how much of a scam that was. That was like a pretty fake crowdfunding.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But like, why? But I don't know. It's just what's the big issue with crowdfunding? If it worked so well in
It
season
is
1,
something to do with
and that was like the marketing technique behind it as well,
Mm-hmm.
to try and get a big prize pool. And then all you do is just kind of let down the years after with the prize pool. Like, why not commit to crowdfunding in any way? What the fuck is going on?
Well, I think. Well,
I mean, do we
there
really
is-
need to say it though? I mean,
there's something.
there's a pretty obvious answer to why they don't do it.
Okay.
There is something
I
to do
think-
with like taxes and stuff. There's an issue there. I don't know with Georgia.
I mean,
They have certain rules as well. So.
Hey,
I know-
really?
yeah, I know they got fucked the year that they did do it. That's what. I heard about it.
Okay, I see. Okay, never mind then. Wow.
But
But
like,
I
another
didn't
thing,
know
when, you,
about
when you look at the first worlds, another thing for the money marketing thing, right? If no one said it was 2.6 mil, I mean, no one would care.
yep.
Same thing
100%.
with these recent worlds. On top of them being online, the fact that they're online, that's another blow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if these worlds events had the money public and it was used as a marketing tool, like $1 million worlds,
Yep.
I mean, so many more people would just be interested just for knowing the fucking number.
Yep. And then it creates
Like,
your amateur
even-
league hype as well because people want to be
Even-
watching the new players.
Yeah, I mean, even with the trash 400K, I mean, don't get me wrong, 400K is a lot of money, right? But the fact that it's going down every year, I mean, it's kind of considered trash at that point.
Yep.
But even then, even if it was 400K worlds, just pretty criminally low, they could say 400K worlds, and I'm sure it would have been way more interesting than it was, and it would have had a lot more eyes on it just for saying the number.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between one of the biggest worlds compared to now is just you not knowing the number. I mean, it's just such a powerful marketing tool.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think if they did, dude, if they want to start, like, in my opinion, if they ever want to do crowdfunding again, which I don't think they do, like, they could start at probably like 100K at the beginning of the year, and by the end of the year, it'd probably be fucking juiced up. Like, it would probably be, as long as they don't do, you know, what they did in season 5. There will be, it'll be good.
Oh
It'll be
man,
really good.
I love season 5. I love season 5 actually.
Yeah. But as long as they don't do that, like if it's $1 per, dude, oh, whew, sheesh. I'll be seeing you in the upper fucking 3s, 4s maybe.
I mean, the craziest thing, right, is that the game has made so much money. It's getting, I mean, profitability is surely going up every year that Smite is running.
Mhm.
But the prize pool for Worlds continues to go down. So, I mean,
Well, I
just
think it would be
kinda-
cool of a system where like Worlds is full crowdfunding and then maybe Hi-Rez matches whatever is crowdfunded. I think that's an interesting way to do it as well. So you don't start with the basis, it's full crowdfunded, and then maybe
Oh,
they
dude,
just
imagine
match
it's
it.
like imagine it's like 2.5 million, and then they have to match 2.5 million.
Yeah, I mean that's the risk you take, right? But like then you have a $5 million tournament that's the hypest thing ever, and then
Fuck yeah.
then you have
that'd be good.
eyes from all the fucking like all the different games.
mean-
you have all the different orgs, those big fucking orgs. But like,
You'd
holy
probably-
shit, like
If it was a $5 million prize pool, you would probably get like League players and Dota players watching. You
I
know,
mean,
just
oh
for the
yeah,
prize
for
pool.
sure.
How many people do you think would care about Dota if there wasn't a huge prize pool for their international every year?
Probably
many?
not a lot.
I mean, it would
I mean,
probably
Dota
be a lot
Dota is strictly like a competitive game. I think people.
True. Yeah.
The main thing you watch on Dota Twitch is tournaments, high level players, and like, I mean that's about it. That's like literally a tournaments, high level players.
Yeah, they don't have like the big
yeah.
community following or casual community
Yeah.
following.
Yeah. So if the main thing, which is their TI, doesn't do as well, I guess, then a lot. I mean, maybe not like as much as we'd think it is, but it would be like a pretty hard blow.
No. I think just, or they can do a thing where they like match up to 1 mil or something like that. Like I think that's fine as well. Let's say you crowdfund 2 mil, right? Then you match up to 1 mil and it's 3 mil for the prize pool. I think that's completely fine. And
I gotta ask a
s-
pretty brutal question, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal, okay? What is your thoughts on the whole lack of EU SPL?
I
You
mean,
can start Alex on that.
I think when it comes to having different regions, I think Smite isn't a big enough esport compared to other games where you can have like multiple leagues existing in different countries. I mean, sure, you could have right now, you could have an online league where there's an EU SPL and an NA SPL, but I feel like competition would be so much worse, and overall the games would be there'd be a lot more joke games. Like, I mean, imagine right now there's like 6 top teams. I mean, don't get me wrong, Scarabs and Valks can have their games, right? But there's 6 top teams that are just really good right now. And
Fucking that hazer face.
imagine if
laughing.
you had another
The
whole
hazer
league in
Chris
EU
face.
that was 8 teams, and then there was 8 teams in NA. I mean, the competition would just be horrible. I mean, like the teams would be like, I mean, it just wouldn't be good. It would make the overall competitive scene much weaker. Like, there would just be a few dominant teams in each region, and everyone else would be absolute dog shit. And it would take them a very long time to become good. And also, just playing on LAN playing on 9 ping, now that Jitin's fucking made it 9 ping, having short, like very low ping, and having to move and live, it's just like, it's your job, it's your focus. I mean, I fucking play Smite all day. I work on Smite all day, think about Smite pretty much all day. And if I was living in my fucking house in Michigan right now, I probably wouldn't care that much. I'd probably be clocking in, I'd be doing okay, and I'd be taking the money, dude. But when you have to move here, you have to invest everything. That makes you so much more focused on the game, and it makes the overall competition much better. And I think that's pretty important if you want to have an actual competitive scene. I mean, the point of a competitive scene is to have it be the most competitive possible. And I think it being a LAN league is that. But
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, you would hope that there would be an EU scene as well. It's just, I don't know. Just tough.
Yeah, if you're talking about like if they were to actually make an EU LAN league, then I think it would sooner or later like catch up, because obviously there would be some adaptation time and stuff like that. And then obviously you have the EU NA hype, which is the biggest thing that was always for Smite. But yeah, if Hi-Rez actually did an EU LAN league and it was separate from NA EU, and it was just, I don't know, it would probably end up being 6-6 or 8-8 or whatever it would end up being. It would take a bit of time. It would probably be some shit games for quite a while, but sooner or later they would catch up, as long as it is a EU LAN league, though. Like,
yeah, I mean, if there was an EU, that's like,
biggest
that
thing.
would be ideal, right? If there was an NA LAN league and an EU LAN league, that'd be the perfect world, right? But considering the fact that we're even struggling to get a fucking in-person Worlds in the current day, I mean, imagine that happening, bro.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
But I mean, obviously,
Not a chance. Yeah.
that would be the ideal
Yeah,
situation.
I
right?
hope
But
it would come back as well. Like, I really hope there's an EU LAN league. Like, it would be so cool to
Yeah,
have like an
I mean-
LEC thing where you can mix players and like actually live in that area, right? But one, they would have to dump a lot more money, obviously, because now you're hosting 2 LAN leagues, and then 2, like now you have to pay those players like the salary, right? Because there's no orgs for that stuff. So,
Yeah.
and it would be
you
all
say
out of
it's
pocket.
would you say it would be like a worthwhile investment if they did that though?
I mean,
Like
how often are you playing right now? Do you see new players?
let's say we're in like this imaginary world, okay? EU and NA are like roughly equally developed. Like
Right.
let's say both SPL teams are, or both SPL leagues are, roughly the same. You have top 6 like super strong teams. Bottom 2, they can take games off the top 6 for both leagues. And they like meet up one time EU, one time NA at some place. Like, just think about it a little bit. How good would this be, or would it not be very different or would it not be like a worthwhile investment if that's the case?
I mean, that would be a pitch to upper management, which is barely getting a in-person worlds happening. You know what I mean? That after the whole community had to band together and complain to get it to happen. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the ideal world would be an EU LAN league and an NA LAN league, and players from each regions could swap to either thing, right? Like, say we're the Bolts and fucking Lasper's in the EU and the EU league, and we want to take him. Then if he could fly over, he wants to fly over from the EU and move to NA and play with us to be on a good team, and maybe he thinks he has more success over here on our team. I mean, that'd be fucking sick, right? And then at the end of the year, you could have these worlds, or have the worlds happen where these 2 leagues meet. And I mean, that'd be the fucking ideal world, right? But I mean, considering the current state that we're in, that happened today, I mean, it just sounds like a fucking fantasy land. And
Yeah,
when it comes
it's
to
pure fantasy.
yeah, and when it comes to competitive, I do think the point of competitive and having an esports scene is having it be the most competitive possible, which a LAN league does do. It makes players more focused, and you have the best equipment, you have the best everything, right? You're there for a reason, you're in studio, etc. It will be the most competitive possible. And I think that's the best thing you can do. But yeah, I don't think that you should bring it back to online so that you can have 2 regions. I think that, I mean, ideally it would just be eventually an EU league that branches out itself. Mm-hmm. And that would be like the ideal thing, so that both sides are as competitive as possible. But I mean, that's a fantasy, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think the overall quality improved. Yeah. What's up, Harry? By the way,
it's fucking
the overall quality.
Hello.
Like moved over, but a lot of the hype went down.
Bugging.
I don't know if like the quality matches the hype that EU versus NA brought, though, in terms of entertainment. At the end of the day, this is entertainment. And this is the LAN League, with 8 teams right now in its current state, better and more fun to watch than, 8 online teams versus 8 online teams, but 2 regions?
I mean, I think that's kind of where you just get to the point where, do you want to have it be the most entertaining or the most competitive?
Well, but they're shooting for they're shooting for a very casual player base. They're like catering to casuals as much as humanly possible at the moment.
Well, I mean, I know for at least Cooper's POV, the whole reason why he wanted an online or a LAN league is that it would be the most competitive possible, and I think that's the best vision. If you have a competitive league, having the most competitive league possible is going to be the best thing that you can do. I mean, otherwise, what's the fucking point of a competitive league if you're not trying to make it as competitive as possible? I just don't see it.
Okay.
But I mean, I do think EUNA hype was sick. It just
it was definitely awesome.
I don't know.
Well, once they like clashed and met at like LANs, which at the time I always thought that there should be more of those, because I think the more the better that there's NAEU, because that was pretty much the main regions that were in there. They should have definitely met way more and stuff like that.
But I mean, do you guys think that? I mean, I at least think that the whole point of competitive is to have it be as competitive as possible, and that's why the LAN League is the best. Even though it fucks over the EU scene, I mean, that's just kind of how it is with the decisions that Hi-Rez have made. I mean, if the ideal world, the fantasy world, would be that there's a LAN League in both countries, and that would be sick. But that's probably a very long time away, or if it ever happens at all.
It'd be a huge risk for them
Yeah.
to go back to something like that, like go to that.
Well, there's probably
Yeah, I
no
don't
going
see it
back,
happening,
right? They
honestly.
kind of. Oh, so what'd you say?
I was just saying I don't see it happening ever.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like if you're basically having to invest for another 8 teams pretty much. So like you have to
I mean,
cope
you
for
can
like
maybe shorten it. You can maybe bring it 6 both sides.
6 both sides, yeah.
Well, that's what they had, right? Was that not season 5?
Mm,
I'm pretty positive it was 6 both sides, season 5.
wait, was season 5 split? Wasn't that the year that everyone was moving?
No, season 6
Oh, it was season 6.
was
yeah,
when
yeah.
everyone moved.
Bro, you guys want to talk about the friendship league?
Oh, hold on.
People are
Friendship
spamming
league?
in my chat.
what the
Yeah,
fuck's the friendship league?
People are
Oh,
saying
God.
that. People are saying that if you're an SEC or if you're an EU, you have no chance of getting an SPL because it's a friendship league.
Have you tried just not being shit at the game?
There you go.
Yeah, that pretty much solves that whole
Is
problem.
that what it's related to?
What?
Wait, is that the whole thing behind it? Friendship league is if EU like related to E EU.
No, it's just like
it's just any of the players.
EU, SEC.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Any of the players that
it's
don't get
insane.
in, they just say friendship league, even though it's more just.
Bro,
I mean, everyone got eyes on Eldritch Hound. Like they've been owning. They've been top for what, 2 years or a year now, a year and a half. Like people have eyes on them, and like.
Well, now is not the fucking time to call friendship leagues. I think, because there are relegations.
Yeah, true.
yeah,
I mean, okay, okay. To some degree, I think it's undeniable, just because of it's a very simple fact that it has been the same
This
sort of
fucking
50,
server,
60
dude.
players shuffling in and out. Okay,
Mhm.
players shuffling in and out of the league. That I think bothers a lot of players. Call it what you want, though. It is at the end of the day boring to play the same people for 3 years straight in the same place, constantly and all that.
Well, I mean, that's where people get their friendship league, though, right? But like, consider when you're working together every single fucking day, right? You're teaming with each other. You're spending a lot of time with each other. Am I gonna want to team with someone that's a fucking asshole or that I
Yeah.
like is horrible to work around? Like,
Exactly.
when it comes to any job, any environment, if you look at other esports scenes in any other game, people aren't just gonna team with fucking assholes that they can't stand being around. Otherwise, the team isn't gonna work. So yeah, at a certain point, you do need a team of people that you enjoy being around. That's how it works. You need to have synergy, especially in a team environment. You need to.
Especially when you're living
But-
with them every day, you see them.
Yeah.
Stuff. Like
Yep,
that's so important.
That's the big one. That's the big one.
Yep.
So I mean, it can come down to some players, right, won't get kicked out because they have good connection. That can happen. But I mean, how many players can you really look at in the SPL that should be replaced by someone that's not in the SPL? I don't think you can really point to too many people. I mean, I think
Maybe
pretty much
Haddix by Deathwalker or
maybe-
something like that.
maybe that fucking guy. I don't know. That guy's pretty shit. I mean, but then that's another thing where it comes to when you're scrimming every single day and you have the option to make Smite your living, and I'm fucking living in Georgia in this fucking rental, right? I mean, of course, I'm gonna be way better than some other guy that's not in the SPL. I literally spend every single fucking day playing Smite
Mhm.
and working on it, right? So I'm like, that's the difference. Is like it's pretty hard to get in, right? You kind of have to be pretty sick to get in at a certain point, or you have to get lucky with someone that is good that's done, or they've been fucked over. So I mean, that's just kind of how it is. Unless you're just fucking sick, that's just kind of how it is.
I think it did originate out of frustration mainly because right now, like, you already kind of made the point earlier when you were talking about the LAN League, because the LAN League will push all those players at the LAN League to just be better, right?
Yep.
Like, the skill level will go up. It's undeniable. So players that are playing for, let's say EU SEC, right? Like, that's a pretty good example. EU SEC, or just EU in general, is so down the drain right now. Like, it has hit rock bottom. The skill level is so low, it's crazy. But because you don't play against that many players that are much better, you're kind of just stuck. You're hitting a brick wall. You've hit the cap, and that's it. There's not much better than that. Unless you move over and play SPL teams, in which case you realize you're dog shit. But you don't know that, so you're frustrated, and you sort of get to that point, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, imagine if you're a bottom team and you only scrim another bottom team, like you're not really.
Yeah,
gonna
you're
do
not.
much.
You're not going
You
anywhere.
you have to scrim
I've had
against
that experience
better
before in
players.
SSG.
Yeah, you have to scrim against better players, better teams, and you have to get shit on to learn. That's
Yep.
how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And when there isn't enough talent somewhere, I mean, that's just that's kind of how it is. And that's also why I think having the LAN league is important, right? On top of everything else, when you have all the talent in one location, then they will. I mean, that's going to be the best for competitive because the best will be playing against the best, and they'll get better and better and better. Compared to having the talent spread out, just makes it not as competitive.
Well, you say the best play the best, but Hex Mambo is in Europe, so I don't know.
Shit.
When we show up to land, man, you're kind of worried. Although only 3 of us are showing up, I think, so maybe you don't have to worry so much.
Like, I think it would be really cool if they could ever do the EU League again, but like as far from what I see of like tweets of EU ranked and everything, like, it does not seem like it's going in a very
Nah,
good
dude.
direction.
Okay, EU right now is awful.
Yeah.
Like some people QNA ranked because it's just better than EU ranked. But thing is, it's just kind of expected to be in this position at this point when it's been gutted for so long.
Oh yeah, no, I don't disagree with that for sure. That's gonna happen.
So it's hard. I think it's way harder from Europe right now than from NA, right? Like if you're NA SEC, you're probably better than EU SEC. Or, if you're NA SOC, you're probably better than EU SOC, and so on. And then we're also missing that top-end league. Everybody's playing from home as well, and people are like sort of half-assed playing. Teams are scrimming like maybe 2-3 times a week max.
Yo,
People have jobs and shit, so they can't commit as much time. And then it just naturally kind of devolves into just being worse. Like EU just is the worst region right now.
now, do you think they could ever revive it? Like, do you think they could actually do something to revive that? Like,
Hey man, I'm trying.
Like, do you think if they actually dump money into it?
I think they can. Okay, I think just EU lands, like same format as Masters, but just EU lands would already be a very, very good step forward. I think a lot of the sort of will to play comes from convenience.
Right.
Like for you guys over there, it's just kind of convenient. You're literally right there, and every single tournament is right there. For us, you have to travel a shit ton, and you travel to a place you've seen like a billion times already, right? So like normally when you travel, you kind of expect magic on the other end. You like get out of that plane, get out of that airport or whatever. Boom, holy shit, what's going on? And then you get out and you're just there again. I'm not particularly excited to go to lands. Like, it's gonna be fun for me to go to this land just to meet everyone again, but I'm not going there for the place. But if you go to say like a new place in Europe or whatever, it could be even a new place in NA, like maybe that would hype up both regions, it doesn't necessarily have to be just like a one region thing. Well, that would be a solid start, I think. Other than that, right now, I mean, it really just is like an ideal world where for EU, it's ideal to have 2 online leagues. Ideal for both is to have 2 LAN leagues. And as it stands right now, it's already kind of ideal for NA for the most part, other than, the other things we don't talk about right now, I guess. But
I mean, I think that's the biggest issue, is right.
Well, once
Why
again,
would you
like Hazer?
Why would you deconstruct the great competitive environment that's in LAN right now
Hazer Madland?
in Georgia, and basically weaken competitive to cater to a pretty weak region because of what they've done? Like it'd basically be worsening the overall Smite competitive scene to try to bring back EU when it's pretty dead right now. I mean, not saying that they should have killed it in the first place, but now that it's dead, I mean, it's pretty hard to justify bringing it back to an online league to resurrect the dead region.
It's hard to go back. I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think it would have been easy to just like maintain that same thing rather than move and then go back. Like at this point, they just kind of have to commit. I think it's unless they out of nowhere want to invest that much and make an EU LAN league, there's no going back right now. But even an EU LAN league just wouldn't cut it right now because it needs time to develop first. Like NA was already developed and then it got stronger. EU was developed, but it got weaker. So now you have this like super weak Europe, and you expect that, like, let's say they invest, it's just not it. It just won't be that fun to begin with. Like, it'll take a while for people to catch up and shit.
Yeah. I mean, you'd basically just be like waiting for Worlds and you just get
Doing
owned.
rank game shit.
Yep, probably.
So I mean,
I think-
if they want to bring it back, wait, go ahead.
No, I was gonna
But,
say I think EU has the same problem as like OCE, like
Right now, yeah.
OCE, LATAM, Brazil. Like when they came to LAN, they would just lose because they just didn't
Behind.
really get. They just didn't have good competition like in their region.
Yeah.
And they started like getting better. I remember the OC team, Direwolves or whatever, when they played against NRG at that Masters LAN, and they were like pretty close to beating them.
Mm-hmm.
And same with like a couple LATAM teams or like South American teams, they were like pretty close to like beating like genuine like top NA and EU teams,
Oh, yeah.
and then they kind of just cut that out as well. I feel like you's kind of at the point where that's just it. Like there's not really much they can do to like improve that much because the competition's just fucking terrible. And I feel like some people don't even care about competing as well. They're just there because it's like
Oh, they don't.
it's just
they
fucking
don't,
easy. It's just easy to just collect some free money, sit in your
Pretty
home.
much.
That's it. So yeah, I don't think. Yeah, EU's dead. Rest in peace.
Actually, rest in peace.
Sag.
But I mean, maybe. Yeah, I mean, also with the Friends League thing again. I mean, people complain about Friends League, but then there's Valks who came in through SEC, right? And it's crazy that that's still it's still a conversation about Friends League.
That is quite criminal.
When
Who are the
Valks came
people who are in the
relegated.
Friends League? That's what I want to know. Like, who are these
True.
people?
I mean,
Like, has anyone actually ever said?
probably the Kings, bro. Honestly,
Yeah, we are
those
actually.
guys
great
are so
friends.
bad, man. They're so bad. And just all great friends. Like, you just
Yeah,
stick together, I don't know.
You have genetics on your team. I don't know if I want to comment much more.
Shit.
It can't be a Friends League with that guy on the team. Jesus.
Nah, I mean, I promise you, it's out of frustration. Some facts are undeniable, but calling it a friends league out of frustration is pretty spot on, I would say.
Yeah, well, a lot of people complain about how the SPL teams don't get mixed up right at the end of the year, and I think that kind of comes back to Worlds. Like, imagine if Worlds was 1.5 mil, 1 mil. Like, I'm pretty sure some of these teams that are like just happy, kind of chilling, because I mean, let's say you win one tournament, maybe two tournaments, you've already made like 20K. Compared to winning Worlds, you win 30K right now. And who knows? It might go down this year again. It might go down to 30. It might go down to 300K, right? Who knows?
Jesus.
So then, if you win one of these 3 tournaments that happen throughout the year, I mean, who the fuck cares about Worlds then at that point, right? I mean, if you can just chill, I mean, who cares? But if you have to play live on stage for a fuck ton of money at the end of the year, I'm pretty sure some teams or some players would be leaving their teams right now and trying to get a better team. Like, I just think that Worlds being important makes people do things that they don't want to do otherwise. Like, these teams would probably be getting mixed up if Worlds is worth more. That's my point.
I mean, even like regular, doesn't even have to be Worlds, right? It could just be regular Masters lands, like if they were a bit more relevant in any way.
Yeah, I mean, if they were going to like special places, if they were just more important, yeah. Or if just in general these tournaments were worth more, then I think teams would be getting mixed up way more. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I mean, yeah.
You've been in for a
Probably.
long time.
I mean, good in
Harry, so
Dota, like-
that's you.
In-
What do you think of
Jesus
that?
Christ, man.
So I think on changing teams.
Yeah, if Worlds meant more or had more money in it.
This
more
one
often.
for you guys too?
Yeah, it does every once in a while.
Oh,
but,
every-
Yeah,
There's one.
Really?
it dies randomly. Yeah.
I've never had a die.
But do you guys think that Worlds would be, if Worlds is worth more money, and it was a bigger event, or these even like say these 3 tournaments happen throughout the year, if they were more important, do you think teams would be breaking up, or players would be leaving?
I think so, yeah. I think
Yeah.
teams will be like way more ruthless. Instead of being like,
Yeah.
okay, let's just try and improve over this year or like next split. I think teams will like, Joe, fuck this, let's just get this guy
Yeah.
in instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was told by Vote that their previous year they like sort of didn't even expect much. But they played the whole year just sort of like practicing and like sort of settling with the bad ping situation, and then next year they started actually playing, right? Like you had a full year to just sort of prepare for the next year, I guess, because there's nothing too relevant going on.
Oh yeah, Madlun.
So it's a bit scuffed. I mean, I also want to compare it to, say, other esports as well, where way more is on the line. I mean, I'm pretty familiar with the Dota scene, and goddamn, there's a lot of roster changes over there. And there's, you know, quite a hefty prize pool in almost every tournament. And then, of course, you have TI. So whenever any team is doing slightly bad or a player is slightly unhappy, they just change. They're not too hesitant on it.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if you guys watch League too much. You could maybe comment on that a bit better than
Oh,
I do.
fucking
But
slam league all the time.
I'm sure they do the same thing in League. You know, like if somebody's is not too happy or somebody's underperforming, like it's a pretty quick, you know, kick or
Yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it definitely is.
They also just
Same
have
with
the player base for it, though.
Yeah, that's true. They're perma grinders.
Jesus fucking.
I
And
think-
they also have
True.
separate regions.
I do think people.
What the fuck is wrong with this web? It's so trash.
Hello.
I also
Dude.
think
What is
that people realize like orgs, like how much salary the orgs are giving over there and everything like that. Like people really want to be a part of that. For,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
league
I feel
players.
like also when it comes to competitive, right, or at least being able to kick players and be more ruthless, it's pretty hard to do that right now because a lot of people, don't get me wrong, there's still players that are interested in competitive, and there's still players that want to get an SPL, obviously. But I mean, imagine if these tournaments were bigger and it was shown like, holy shit, if I fucking win Worlds, I can get like 200k to myself or something, right? Like there'd be a lot more players trying a lot harder to make
Hey,
Smite
man, that I can bring it up.
their job and get into SPL and get in there like it was before.
Yeah.
But there's a lot less desire for it now because the tournaments are so lackluster. They're fucking online. You don't even know how much money it is. It's not advertised. You don't even know what's happening. You just hear about the salary. And if these tournaments were bigger, there was more hype around it, there'd be more players trying to try their hardest to get into SPL. And it would make it overall a lot easier to switch out players, or teams would be breaking up more because there's more money on the line. And there'd be more players to fill those slots because more people want to get into the scene because there's a lot of money involved.
Yep, true.
Yeah.
You think next year what they're gonna do is increase salaries by about like $1,000 per player and cut down worlds by 100k? Because that would be good,
That
right?
would be, yeah, that'd be sick, dude.
What if they did what?
Nah, we're joking. We're joking.
Don't.
Do you think
Remind me.
someone in chat brought up? Do you think the SPL pros should be worried about the future SPL seasons?
No.
I
I don't
mean,
think so.
no.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Well, next year.
Wait,
it's
hold
the
up. I'm not even
10-year
an SPL
anniversary.
pro, and I'm saying no, bro.
It'll be really weird for them to have their 10-year SPL anniversary, like year, and then just be like, "Yep, been a great 10 years in a bit." That just doesn't make sense.
I
to me.
think
No,
the
yeah,
league itself will always be fine, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of the tournaments.
it's really just up to the higher ups to fucking just dump money.
Do
into
not
it.
tell me. Holy shit, dude.
Stop it, man.
Do you want to use a Discord server?
There's no way the call is that bad, bro. There's no way.
I mean,
I'm
maybe it is that bad.
Is it
Fuck,
breaking
where
for you
were
guys
we
too?
now?
No, I'm
Nope.
chilling.
What?
Where were we
Has
now?
it's never broke for you.
No,
Nope.
Okay. I don't know then.
just on like the future for SPL and stuff. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I said that I think the normal season will always be fine. I think it's just the tournaments. But having
Yeah,
the
but
tournaments be
like the
important
thing
a
is,
really big deal.
the tournaments, in a way, I guess, kill the will for a lot of people to compete.
Yeah,
'cause
no,
the-
that's what we were
you
saying.
know-
Is like the tournaments are extremely important.
Yeah. So you know, maybe the future of some people specifically, like maybe they stop playing because they're just not happy about it. But I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean,
No, I'm
other
not,
people can catch up or something.
I'm not too sure on like how CS stuff works, but CS doesn't have like one worlds, right? Like theirs are just
They have
majors.
3.
No, just
Yeah, they have the
majors.
3
yeah.
majors, right? Do you think ever something like that would work for Smite? where they don't have a worlds, but they have like 3 majors, or 3 worlds, I guess per se.
Probably
I
not.
think it'd be too much change compared to like what's been running for so many years.
Yeah, well, they
I
kind
feel
of
like
already
changing to
have it with
international, I don't know.
Masters. Like they kind
I
of
mean,
do have
if
it.
you win a
Well, a
Masters,
master.
it's basically
Okay,
a world's amount. I mean,
you say
10K compared
major,
to
but
30K. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know how much like the money is for majors and everything, but I mean, 100K slammed on them fucking Masters like word is pretty fat, you know, especially if it's somewhere. Like if they threw one Masters land, 100K Masters land in New York, throw one in Vegas, and throw one across seas.
yeah, these
For Smite.
majors, they probably don't have that big of a prize pool. I mean, okay, I'm looking at one major that I
CS:GO
like
ones, I think they're like
absolutely
a
love.
million.
Million? Okay. Like, so the Dota one that I watched, it's 500K. Right? Like, it's not even that crazy.
Yeah.
It's not, millions of dollars and whatnot. Sure, 1 million is big,
Yeah,
realistically.
it's just because it has
But-
that fucking event in person with all the players, dude. It's just so hype having like crowds there. Like it just creates so much more to the game. Like even without the prize pool.
Well, we're just kind of backtracking now, aren't we? We're kind of
Yeah, yeah.
discuss the
what do
whole
you
land
guys, what do you guys,
situation.
what do you guys think the major takeaways are from this? Like including what happened today and what you want to change in the future.
Major take. Oh my god, I have a pretty based take. Major
we can
takeaway.
go
Where the fuck
order.
were all these people when they got an EU, man? A good unification though to defend Worlds. If Worlds was gone, I think Smite Esports was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone can agree on that.
I think they just need to have more events outside of the studio. Like,
True.
not every event has to be in like with fans in a stadium or like not stadium in a fucking arena or some
In a
shit,
venue.
but at least somewhere. Like, even if all the players just fly to fucking fuck knows, like that OTK place they have
Yep.
in Texas or whatever it
Texas.
is.
That would be so fucking hype.
Like, even if only the players just went there to play, that'd be like so much better than just like it's not. I don't think it's that hard to do, is it?
No.
Really, if you think about it.
Surely not.
Like,
Well, I mean,
I think it's okay to just have the players fly out for like somewhere for every Masters, and then Worlds can be like with fans and shit.
Yep.
I feel like that's like the most. That's like the safest thing to do, I think, or the easiest to do, with no
I mean,
real like
you remember
hardcore
they were
investment.
talking about 3 different lands in different areas, and then it got worked down to 2, and then it got worked down to 1, and then it was taken away completely.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I seriously asked them every single year since season 5 to make like lands with crowds. I've been told the same thing every single time. We're trying. They're trying to push for it. And I
but
never
then where do you think it ends? Where do you think it's being stopped by?
Probably the same people
Well-
that were about to make worlds die and then
Yeah,
Smite
yeah,
die.
but exactly, like it wouldn't, but that's the thing, right? It didn't just stop when they took out international scenes. It didn't stop when they took out EU. They took out lands, or well, sorry, I say lands, but like crowd lands.
Yep.
So what is the next step really? Where do we draw the line? Right now, every SPL player drew the line for them. But what's stopping them from crossing? I guess sometimes you gotta wonder.
I mean,
Maybe at
hopefully
some point it
today,
happens anyways.
hopefully today shows how important the esports scene is for them.
Yep.
Because I mean, the entire community stood up and basically said, "This is very important. It needs to happen." And I mean, I think that kind of shows you how important the esports scene is and how big it is in your community when something like this can happen. And again, when it comes to like the Masters thing, I mean, like one of my major takeaways from this is just, I think they should use the money in a tournament as a marketing tool. And at the end of the day, a lot of these people didn't even know most of these events were happening. So the last Masters tournament, a lot of people didn't even know what was happening. And even if people did know what was happening, they were pretty bored by it because it was just this in studio, same shit. They don't know how much money's on the line. It's just boring. They need to find a way to make it interesting, host it in a different area, some different location, and use the money as a marketing tool. That's like what I would ideally want to see.
Dope.
Yep,
I would
I think that alone would just revive a lot of like the spirit that people had before, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a lot of the will to play for both regions, no matter where you are. If you hear there's a Smite LAN in, you know, Madrid, 100K, you know, I just fly there. Even if I don't qualify, I just go there anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I just hope the biggest thing that they take away from this is just that esports scene is kind of what made this game. Right, the higher up should just realize that at this point, with all the backing that all the pros had that tweeted and everything, like
They're trying to shove it under the carpet
yeah,
with their battle passes and Nickelodeon.
that is just unlucky.
that
that was
was
definitely
bad
that
timing.
was just an auto tweet set up like fucking 2 months ago or something.
Yeah,
That is just so unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can look at like it's just kind of sad that the game is popping off, and it's only getting better every year, and the world's prize pool and esports is just slowly dwindling away every year. And I mean, then you look back at what made this game popular and what made people get into it in the first place, and it was seeing these huge tournaments, the launch tourney, the first worlds. I mean, it's just, I think they just need to realize how important esports is, and it's what originally brought people to this game.
Yep.
At least a good amount of them.
Well, I don't know if I'd be trying half as hard, honestly, if I didn't know about First Worlds. I can say that for myself.
True.
First Worlds, you know, 2.6 mil, and then I'm like, okay, whoa,
That's
you know,
what
you can
got a
actually
lot
make a
of
living out of
people
Yeah,
this.
that's what we got. I'm pretty sure everyone in.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's another fat tourney like that. You would definitely see a lot more eyes back on the game, and especially from like orgs and everything like that, like actually trying to get in and care.
Whoa, orgs?
Well, I guess that's
What the
another
fuck
thing,
are those?
actually. It's the individual sponsorships that we could get as a team.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked that system back then. Like they,
Like orgs or
if you, I
playing
guess
your
if
own
you got,
individual?
well, or like orgs, but the way they worked back then, where they would give their like they would pick up a team that they kind of wanted, and then they would pay you how much they felt like it was worth it for them and whatnot, and then they'd work with you and shit.
Yeah.
But when they were forced into the league, sort of, well, I guess they wasn't forced. You know, they could still opt out of it or whatever. But some just kind of did it for quick, easy money and marketing. Some cared, and then the ones that cared sort of looked bad next to the other ones that didn't.
Yeah.
But in the old system, it wasn't like you literally just sort of took a risk straight away by picking up a team and paying players. But I don't know, it felt more healthy. the way it was
I
run
think it was
before.
healthier before Hi-Rez started giving stipend. I just think, unfortunately, I think players is kind of it was kind of rough negotiations and stuff like that, like finding the value. But I mean, from like my negotiations that I had to do for like personally from E United from season 4 to season 5, like it was pretty progressive, going upward pretty hard, to be honest with you. And there was a pretty big difference from top team to bottom team salary wise, but like as long as you were putting in the effort, as far as I knew, and like you were actually performing and competing, like there was some pretty willing to go up. Like it would be pretty consistently going up until the
energy maybe, you know, they were like a little good. They were a little good back then.
I mean, I think the biggest problem with orgs is the disparity between them and how much it could differ and
how
much they could fuck you over or how insane they could be. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I think everyone would rather be a part of an org than whatever the fuck team names are right now. I mean, I would much rather be on like
You don't like being
Team
on the
Liquid
Olympus
than-
Bolts?
I'd much rather be on like Team Liquid or whatever, any org than the Olympus Bolts. I'm sure everyone can go for that. It's a lot more cool to be a part of something like that, but I think there's also a lot of huge issues that come with orgs, and that's kind of the reason why they were taken out.
For sure, yeah, no, I agree.
So I mean, there's
think-
positives to both, but I think there's probably more cons with orgs than without orgs.
I don't know about like what your experience was with it, Harry, but before they started doing stipends, as far as I knew, everyone's salary was like pretty much going
Is it
up
bugging
year to
again?
year.
I can't even remember. Like, I'm pretty sure there was a year. There was like 1 year where it was still EU and SPL,
Mm-hmm.
but they had a base salary.
Yeah, the base salary thing fucked everything once that came in, as far as I know.
Base
Well,
salary kicked in season 5.
Yeah, the base salary back then was 30K.
Mm-hmm.
On Dig, they still paid us more. They I think we got like 40 something.
Yeah, same. United paid more as well.
Yeah, we got like 40 something.
Yeah, I
I
think.
think it's like fucking RNG of the orgs, man. Like,
Oh yeah, that
like-
is the thing that sucks for
like-
sure.
not Dig. That being on Dig was so fucking sick. They would like take us out. Like they would like let us boot camp in places, pay for everything.
Yeah, I was saying
every
with
time
United
we went to a
SSG as
LAN,
well, from my
Yeah, every time we went
experience.
to like a LAN or a boot camp, they would pay for like 3 meals a day for everyone.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, I mean, I wasn't on like LG or whatever. Oh yeah, I was on Renegades. So that's just not there. But like the stories from like I heard about LG, I'm just like, bro, how is this even a thing? Like,
yeah,
if, like,
I
if
think
you
that's
get if you get something
more.
like that, then you just
Yeah, but
terrible.
I feel like that's just more on. I feel like Hi-Rez should have more of their like foot in, rather than kind of let that happen ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they should kind
Yeah.
of just be on top of that. Like if they're gonna do some dumb shit like that, like you're out of the league instantly, right? And just find a fucking replacement at that point. Like it just shouldn't be happening. Also, I mean, with the whole LG thing, like they kind of fucking fucked everybody over that year when there was supposed to be a lot of stuff going in game. You know what I mean?
There definitely was some poor management from Hi-Rez though, no?
Yeah, at that time.
Like I'm sure Hi-Rez could put in some things to make sure that these things aren't happening.
They
Right?
just have
Like they could probably
requirements when they join.
there could be requirements and maybe speak to the players and see if they're getting treated like absolute dog shit. I don't know. I wasn't around obviously with orgs, but I do think one of the biggest concerns about not having orgs is it can really limit the amount of people that know about your game or like your competitive scene, right? Because I mean, don't get me wrong, they're trying over there, but having one person or two people running the Twitter accounts that talk to each other, I mean, it's just not
Yeah, that
interesting,
is,
right?
Yeah, that is coffins.
I mean, everyone knows that there's one person or two people running the Twitter account and they're talking to themselves basically. And I mean, most of the team Twitters just kind of have like no traction behind them at all.
Cares about the
And-
team? Who even follows the team Twitters? And there's like, yo, I'm happy I'm following this account, you know?
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
literally
it's
just to support the players. That's why people are doing it.
yeah, I mean, and other than that, it's just kind of, you know, and I'm sure you could ask any player, they'd much rather be in an actual org than, you know, say fucking Jade Dragons, Olympus Bolts, whatever name it is. It's just kind of weird to be a part of like some weird entity that isn't real. I don't know. I think there's something that comes with being a professional player, and there's something that comes with being in an org. It's just like
Yeah.
a little bit what's the word, like validating? I don't know. You feel
Yep.
like it's serious, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like it seems like a little bit of a joke to me, like, oh yeah, I'm a professional player of the Olympus Bolts. I don't know, bro. I mean, sometimes I can't really take that seriously. You know what I mean? And if I was a professional player for some org, I mean, it would make me feel a little bit legitimized. You know what I mean? I could take myself seriously. But here I am playing for fucking Olympus Bolts, fucking 6K followers. I don't know, man. It's soulless. It doesn't feel like something.
Ooh,
I don't
good
know.
'cause
word.
There's like
Good word, soulless.
there's like so much hype when like, dude, any fucking team that just pulled in any org, let's say like this year it happened, right? And there's one team that has like fucking Team Liquid, Cloud9 or something behind it. That would be so hype. Like so many people would
Yeah,
fucking
there's also
support
no
the hell out of
rivalries.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like imagine if we had orgs, but if we got like the stuff that Hi-Rez already gave us, like the PCs and all that shit.
That's what I really think should just happen. Is they just kind of separate the two, where I don't think they did that before. They kind of just have the two split. Like the Hi-Rez does their stuff for the teams, and then their org that they have does their stuff for their team, and kind of like keep it separate. So
Yeah.
there's not like, okay, here org, here's your stipend, this is what your minimum that you have to pay the team is. It's more just like, we are paying them, here org, this is what team that you can get, or whatever org decides to pick up, and then they can add into the pay, or they can pay for housing if they want to pay for housing, and they just have like sponsors behind them. It's just a more healthier way to do it, I feel like, because you have the Hi-Rez department that's guaranteed you're not going to get screwed over, and then you have your org that is giving you your own separate thing that's also helping you out as a team, and now you have that legitimacy behind you that you're like, oh, now you're Cloud9, or now you're Team Liquid, or 100 Thieves, FaZe. Like, you have all these big fucking names in the thing, and it just creates that type of like really good thing for the players, I think, and creates that hype.
I think it just other than like the fact that you like it makes you feel like an actual like you're doing something. Like I feel like being a part of an org actually makes you feel like you're doing something
Successful.
and you're not like a joke. Like I don't know, man. Like I feel like I'm in a vacuum for the Olympus Bolts. That's kind of how it is with in-house things. It's just kind of I mean like someone said earlier, like it feels soulless. But other than that argument, I feel like there's definitely ways to bring orgs into Smite and still maintain the things that we have right now. Like I think, speaking for myself, if I could have the things that we have right now for being on Olympus Bolts, but I'm a part
there
of an
wouldn't
org,
be
like,
any legit or restrictions.
I don't know, fucking
on
Optic. I don't know, whatever org.
There would
right?
be no restrictions for it.
I would take just the name. I feel like
And
just the
questions,
name
I don't know if it's
is
on the
just
screen,
nice.
but
It's
you're
just
asking orgs to
being
limit
a part of
themselves on how
something.
they handle their teams, which I
It's
doubt
just
any org
nice.
would do. You're not limiting the
I would
team in
much
any
prefer
way.
that.
You're just splitting Hi-Rez.
Yeah, and people can go to
and the
Optic's
org.
website, click teams, and they see
So they
Smite.
have 8
and they
orgs
see
at the
Haddock
beginning
as
of
well.
the year, right?
Yeah,
And
it
8
also,
of those
it's also
bad
good
boys.
branding, right? Because like
You
no one
Hi-Rez is
outside of
giving the team
fucking
their
Smite is
stipend
ever
and
gonna
their
know what the
salary,
fuck is Olympus
right?
Bolts, right?
And then on the other
No one's
side,
ever gonna know what that is, right?
now the
But
org
outside of
can
that, I
give
mean,
them
if you
more
see
money.
Optic,
They can
it's
do
like,
whatever they would like.
It's kind of, I mean,
But
I'm
they
sure
are
there
adding
isn't too much
value to the
traction
players
behind,
because the legitimacy
say,
stream,
like, if Optic
it
has
adds a
Smite
lot
team,
of
I'm
value
sure
to their
not many
stream
people
to
are
have
gonna
that
care,
fucking name
right?
on their stream.
But it's just like,
The jerseys are fucking sick.
yeah,
It also adds
it's a little bit
rivalries
weird
back.
just living in a vacuum.
They can
I
pay
guess.
for housing. They could do like sponsored
also, if they did
reels
want
and stuff
to
like that. There's
reinvent
so
the,
much that they can add
like,
to it.
The risk, the org is like so fucking minimal. It's like what do? You give them a jersey, maybe like some other gear, and then you call it a fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
I'm
you can
sure.
just be like,
I'm sure
yo,
there's
can
plenty
you
of
do
ways to
a
do it.
Yeah,
can you
them
do
doing
fucking
nothing
this
probably
sponsorship
probably makes your season a little bit better as well, right? Like, because it's
Yeah,
all
more hands
you know,
off.
you get all these feelings that Haddix was describing, and they literally do nothing. It's like the lowest effort ever,
Yeah.
and it just makes your day, makes your season better and whatnot.
And like my thing is like if an org paid for a team's team house, right, and they fucking team houseify it up with their org branding and everything, all the teams that stream and stuff, like that's a lot of value for them. They just have a lot, and they can do like content for it as well, like sponsorship content. Like I remember Dig, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're on the team,
Dig
Harry, in
content.
season 6, right? Like your guys is I specifically remember the Mountain Dew energy or whatever they had.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember
Like
Chief.
that stuff that you had.
Fucking whatever.
Yeah, like
Game fuel, that's it.
Yeah, game fuel,
Yeah,
and
game
you had
fuel.
the fucking you had the little fridge in there, and you guys would have to do little reels and stuff. Like I think that's just free content for them, right? Like it benefits both sides. It's funny, and like you get a lot of support from it. And I think that's where like orgs can benefit from Smite is that kind of like community that they can grasp on. Like the community in Smite is very like tight knit, and that's where I think like that's where the value is to orgs coming into Smite. You kind of get that with the sponsorship and stuff.
But how many
Don't
people?
forget about PK kicking zeros, dude. That was content.
Oh my god.
How many?
Oh, I
how
love
many
that
people
guy.
do you think? How many people do you think in the league right now would rather be on an org and not get that many benefits from the org, just have what they already have, but be in an org? How many people
Probably
do you
all
think
of
would
them.
want to do that?
Everyone.
Probably all of them.
I would
Yeah, I
fucking
think
do it.
everyone,
Are you
right?
kidding me?
Like I think people just
That's
want to
free
feel
for me.
legitimized, even if they're not getting much from the org, and they're getting the stuff that they have right now. I think pretty much everyone would just take it. They would just rather be a part of an org,
Yep. 100%.
which I think kind of says a lot about the in-house stuff.
You don't like the Olympus Bolts? What?
Yeah, I just think the best way to go about it and the easiest way to like there's probably a bunch of stuff, right? Like there's probably a lot of stuff that goes into it, but the best way is just splitting it. You just have Hi-Rez giving you your X amount, and then you have the org doing whatever they want to do to benefit you in some way, right? They just
They
have
should
minimal
literally just
requirements.
do what they're doing right now, but they
and
just
then
we just have an
AdWords.
org instead.
Yep. I agree. for sure.
Hi-Rez literally changed nothing on their end, and we just have an org.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone would do
And
that.
then
dude.
orgs can choose to add value by paying more, or if they want to do team house pay, or if they want like whatever. Like you just negotiate at that point, right? Let's say you'll do content for them, but you want X pay, or like you have this following and you stream this much, then you want this pay, or like this is how much you think you're valued and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I mean
that.
there are more valuable teams, so there should be a baseline, but the orbs could go for more,
Mm-hmm.
and they could provide more for more valuable teams. Say like
And
you have a bigger audience, or you're more winning, or whatever.
That's not fucking our team, that's for sure. Jesus.
Yeah, you guys
well,
have.
I think it's also fair
Oh,
that like the team should not be able to choose an org as well. Like if it's not a good deal, like the team shouldn't be forced to choose a team.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be sick if you could be offered an org, right, and then like.
How would orgs
could
make
actually
money
take
on this?
Pretty sick.
Publicity. That's free.
All of them would be all over Zapman, dude. 3-time world champion.
Someone asked my chat on how orgs would make
Stream.
money on this. Does anyone want to answer that? On how orgs would make money on just joining? being there.
You pick up. Well, first of all, they don't have to spend barely any money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I said, it's like a risk-free fucking investment on their end. And then you just pick up whatever team Barracuda's on, whatever team Zapman's on, call it a day.
Yeah, but it's more just like you just have your logo. Your logo and free publicity is equivalent to making
There's
money.
also
in-
like, yeah, I mean, also if and then you can go to like Twitter analytics of like every team,
Nope.
and then where you reach out to like more sponsorships on your as an org, you can be like, yeah, we have a. Like I guarantee you, like the Bolts analytics are like easily like a couple 100K.
Yeah, they were juiced up
extra.
last year when people were running it, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easily like a couple 100K like extra like clicks on a tweet or like views on a page or anything like that, and that shit, that's like all sponsorships care about. It's like
Yep.
they just care about analytics on your tweets, analytics on your Twitch account.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
why more.
that's how they like determine how much worth your brand is.
Yeah, that's why I feel like more orgs are going to streamers now than doing like team sponsors and stuff. Like they're just
Oh, yeah,
sponsoring
for
streamers
sure.
because that's just more money for them. It's just a more worthy investment. Unless you're in Smite, then you don't actually have to put any money in.
And also, like, obviously all the pros know the merch sales and how much they were worth last year.
Yep.
And let me tell you, that would easily, like, write off, like, even out the
Yeah, well,
investment of,
Twitter
like, having
force
to give you
too.
a fucking jersey, which is, like, nothing to them.
I
Probably
mean, they
free.
also make money off of jerseys. So if they pick up, say, a valuable team with an audience, I mean, then they're also making money off the jerseys that people buy.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, they would make money.
They would definitely make money.
Especially if Hi-Rez just do what they're doing now. So the org literally has to do fuck all.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
give them a
100%
name.
agree. Yep. And I think that's the best course of action for like future years or next year or whatever they want to do. Like I think season 10 would be fucking hype if they brought back orgs.
Yeah.
Yo,
I
season
I think
10
that would
better
be
have the
sick.
biggest patch ever, by the way. It better be like the biggest thing ever. 10 years, Smite anniversary. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it really should be. Fucking Smite on Unreal 4? Thoughts?
Yeah,
The only
That'd be a
thing
sick
is-
season.
The only thing with the orgs though is it's kind of like all the investment that like Aubrey herself and now Rach have put in, even like other people behind the scenes. It's kind of like all that like hard work just gone to waste.
I
Kind of,
thought all SPL players could get their own sponsors right now.
which is I'm not sure they would want to do it.
Oh, yeah, that's not really how it works, unfortunately. I
Wait, you're
can't-
talking about like the time investment for Smite versus
know what I
the
can say
actual,
on that,
like, reward or
Apan.
what?
Well, like
For me, my
I
personal
don't know.
branding,
It's
I can
it's
get
like the effort
whatever
they
I
put in
want,
and like the
right?
branding, like all the investment they made
Um,
into like because someone obviously professionally designed the logos and,
hopefully.
and like the jerseys and whatever. Like
Yeah, I
But
mean,
the-
don't get me
the
wrong,
investment
they
into that-
worked very hard, and they've.
Um,
I mean, I'm sure everyone
You
appreciates
kinda
how
have
much
to-
work they've done, and they've done an insane amount of work, and that might
I don't know what I can
uh,
say. It's public, I
dissuade them
think.
from
I think
like
they
doing the orgs
made it
again.
public.
But I feel like
But let's say we were to get
if
G2
you
Esports,
a
right?
pretty good thing to do.
We
is
would not be
maybe
G2
just find
Esports.
out
We would be
if
G2
there's a way
Esports
to get
Olympus
orgs
Bolts.
in, and if
And
it
so
would be a
G2
good thing, and
does
if the
not like
players
that,
want orgs
and
to
they
come
won't come
back.
into Smite.
And
We reached
I mean,
out to.
if you
I'll be
have
open and honest. We reached
at
out
least the
to
majority
a
or
bunch of
like
orgs.
every
We got
SPL
4
player saying that they
responses
would
that were actually interested.
prefer to be on an
from
org,
top orgs,
but still
but
have
none of them wanted to come in
the same
because of
thing
how
that they already have
it
right
is.
now. Like they don't need extra bonuses, right? Just have what they have right now, but be on an org. If everyone
And
wants
they
that, then I
can't
don't see why
own
they
the
wouldn't
team
want to do it.
like
right?
they should be able to.
yeah.
Yeah, I also don't think there would be a problem getting orgs in. Like I don't
I don't
know.
think so either.
Like we reached out. I'll be honest. We reached out to a fuck ton of orgs. We got 4 responses from top orgs, and they all didn't want to go in because of how the structure is for it. Like they didn't want to be, example being G2 Esports Bolts. They just want to be G2 Esports and sell their merch through you and use their merch, use their logo. They like want a Bolts gone basically. Like that's how they would
Well, I
want
don't
to do it.
think.
Which I mean, if I'm a player, I want bolts to be gone as well. If I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
I would love to be a part of G2 Esports and like throw Bolts right out the window. You know what I mean? Like, but still have it there as like a safety for the next year, right? Like you always keep it, but you just replace it whenever an org comes in. Like if an org wants in and they want to do it, like you should just, the structure should just be allowed that an org can just take over, and then you start promoting whatever stuff that they have on their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like someone said, if a team can't get an org, then they just stay the team brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you can sell your own merch, stuff like that. Like you can promote yourself, yada yada yada. You know.
But if you can find an org, then I feel like there should be a path to just basically just put the Olympus Bolts away for a bit and become that org.
Yep.
I'm sure there's a way to do that, and I'm sure the players that can get an org would take an org.
Oh, there's definitely a way to
So
do
I
it,
just-
for sure.
I just don't really see a reason to not do that.
Yeah, I guess how you would do it now is technically an org would lease a team for a year, right?
Instead of Olympus Bolts, it would be Liquid Bolts.
Like basically
Oh
G2
no,
would
dude.
lease the team for a year. I think that would be cool. I think that's a proper way to do it. You have a year contract with the org, they're leasing that team, and then you just go back to whatever team you were that year after. I think that's a good system to have.
That could work. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of confounding, like a lot of factors that come into like why esports is kind of dwindling, right? Like the tournaments feel less special. It feels like the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, Cardia.
Money is used as marketing.
We talk to them all the time.
Worlds is getting less and less money every year. They almost didn't do it in person. I mean, who knows? They should do it in person. hopefully.
Surely.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have made that tweet. Other
Surely.
than that, the Worlds pricing is going down. They're not hyping up Worlds. It just feels stale. And then also there's in-house orgs, which just are frankly, I mean, it was worth, right? But I feel like pretty much everyone in the league right now would much prefer an org name and being under an org branch than whatever team branch they have from the SPL right now. So I think with no rivalries, one person running a Twitter account, it's not their fault that they're running that Twitter account. They're just understaffed, right? But it's just the teams are kind of lame. It'd be a lot cooler if it was orgs. It'd be a lot cooler if there was just big events. I mean, I think all those kind of combined to make it kind of lame and uninteresting.
And the root of the problem is just the investment, I think, into it.
The reasoning behind.
Holy shit, dude. Is it breaking for you guys?
No.
No.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Breaks
do
for
it.
you, and then
Yeah.
wait, do you switch the server manually?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where it like cuts out for us.
Okay, because it breaks for me.
Yeah,
Maybe
when
it's
you
just
switch
my-
server, but for you, it I guess I don't know.
Is it
It's
just my
not
internet?
really-
Dude? Like what? How's it not happening for them
It has been brought up, but
Alright.
there's reasons for it. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the tournaments,
Not best reasons in my opinion.
the Twitter accounts, the teams being in house, it just kind of leads like they kind of all lead to it being pretty boring and uninteresting.
Yep.
It was a worthy attempt.
Yeah.
I mean,
In-house.
I think like off topic for this stuff, but I think it's just always going to be an infinite loop. Like surely Hi-Rez keeps current prize pool for whatever Worlds would be. We don't even know, but and then when they have an in-person event, they would just have to keep that, right? Like it would just be an infinite loop because if they reduce the pricing, then people are just going to complain about that, right? And then they would have to like change it because you still want competition on top of having that in-person Worlds event.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like fucking hell. There's no way they can make it go any lower. Jesus.
No, they cannot. They definitely cannot. There
Surely.
would definitely be another uproar.
400k. I mean, surely it can't go any lower.
Well, I believe it can. I always believe it can go lower. Actually, I don't know. A part of me just wants it to go lower at this point. I just want them to fuck up.
I don't. I fucking like being here.
I really do want it to fuck up. Like,
I have fun
Maybe if you're not in it.
on the esports side, dude. I have fun. Like, it is a good time. Like, I love talking to the esports
No, I mean,
management side
I'm-
and everything, but fuck, dude, whenever you try to get anything done, it's like higher up issues instantly. It's just like, fuck. And I barely have to deal with it. It's more the esports side that it does. You know? Fuck, that must suck.
Prize pool just becomes gems at a certain point, dude.
ooh, yo, oh my god, dude, that would be it. That would be the perfect world for me, I think.
2.5 million gem prize.
Right now, all I
shit.
want, dude, is like the worst experience ever, and I just want to force like 2-hour sets every time as well. Like pick the most AFK shit so that everyone gets bored, you know. Just like make it the worst experience possible. Yeah, that's what I live for right now, dude. Give me that shit. I eat it up.
I think I'll just
what
sell
about-
my account at that point, honestly.
What about the people are asking about like the team skins, the HUDs, stuff like that?
Fuck knows.
What?
Well, I mean, soon on one.
Dude, okay,
of
team
them.
skins? No. Team skin. Are you talking about the t-shirt glasses team skins, or are we talking like actual team skins?
I don't know. People were just asking about it.
As the,
Why they
Nah.
aren't a thing.
I mean, dude.
Okay, the reason for not doing
I
team
think-
skins, by the way, is because they never sold. But the reference was those stupid fucking shirt glasses ones that they put zero
Yeah.
effort into. Like, no shit, that's not gonna sell. Like, what the
If you
fuck
put
is
effort
that?
into it, sure, but I mean, I don't know.
If they actually put effort into the skins and made one skin a team, it would actually be fucking sick, and it would definitely sell. But they would lose money because the profit would probably go to
I mean,
us.
dude, like the way they done the OTK event as well. Just think about it, right? Like they didn't make a team specific skin, but they just assigned each team a skin in a way.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like maybe like a new patch kicks in. Like I don't know. It's just like an idea, I guess. But it wasn't even very high effort for this OTK event to like tie a skin to a team, but they did it. And you know, if somebody really wanted a Hachiman skin, they'd want to watch the Hachiman team or whatever.
Yeah,
Yep.
drops are another big thing. Like, I think if you look at any other game like EFT, Rust, like, drops are huge. I mean, like, they can. EFT was kind of carried by drops, dude.
True.
And I think now that Smite
would
has
have been
figured
dead.
out how. I mean, now that Smite's figured out how important drops are, hopefully they abuse it in the future because drops are a really big thing. They are kind of the meta.
They're
And I'm
OP
glad that
unless
they
you're the
use
one
them.
that doesn't get the drops.
True.
Well, just get the drops, bro. Just get the fucking drops.
This
bro.
one I feel like is a fine test. I think they should do another test where it's just pro exclusive, and then they should do another one that's community. Like I
Maybe
don't
like
know,
SEC exclusive, like
they will-
Hex Mambo exclusive or something.
Well, they have Smite partner program, right? I don't think everybody in Smite is part of that. So they should just do another one where it's like that, and then you can kind of like split it, and then you have like the community side. Once that runs out, then you also have the pro side, so people kind of like the whole community on Twitch kind of gets all of the viewers at some point. I think that's a healthier way to do it overall. But I also had a sick idea for it. I can put it in here, but let me find it.
Ooh, posted, dude.
Let me see if I can find that.
You just made it up on the fly, didn't you?
No, I had to go to one. Ready? Hold on.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, here we go. That's what I had the idea of. You just unlock something every like 4 hours, or for 4 hours of watching that day of a streamer.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they expand on the whole thing, like this event proved the point, and I don't see them not doing anything about it.
They should.
I mean,
Definitely
there was
do
like a
lot
big
more.
discussion. There was a fat discussion on the Discord
Oh
about
yeah,
it as well, right?
your chat. I can put up my
Yeah.
idea.
Okay,
This
that's
is
a bit
my
of a
idea.
too long of a read. I'm not gonna read all this, but
I reached my character limit.
that's what it was about.
There you go. There you go. That's my idea.
Anybody got any other things we might want to cover? We're kind of running out of ideas here, fellas.
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
we
this-
pretty much covered everything.
We kind of been running for 2 hours here.
We kind of got everything covered. I feel like
Kinda fucking
we
slammed it.
covered like the entire
Yeah,
esports scene.
Giga Chad, Harry, who started all this and basically got us in-person worlds back. You have anything to say?
Happy
Bro,
4th of July, guys.
actually, Giga Chad. Thank fuck
Yeah, dude,
you. For pointing it out.
that was actually Giga Chad, dude. Last night, you're just like, man, fuck this, man. I'm leaking this shit. And that was
I
the spark of it.
I just
goat.
couldn't. I just couldn't be bothered waiting.
I respect it. Saved the scene. On top of everyone else that added in after, but you were the leader that got us world back.
Nobody adds
Possibly.
anything after unless Harry
Possibly.
points it out. Guaranteed.
I mean, everyone was hinting at it, and Harry just everyone was beating around the bush, and Harry said, "Fuck it." My goat.
True. For that, fucking
you might have to
yourself
give him
out, by the way,
the-
before you guys go to close it off. You know,
Shout
get,
ourselves
get your
out.
shout outs. And yeah,
Yo. Okay, so I will be, guys, twitch.tv/deathwalker for those of you that don't know and are uneducated scum.
Twitter,
Yeah, that's
YouTube.
about it, honestly.
You got anything else?
Whoa, no.
Anything
Okay,
else?
don't only stream. No, I got nothing. My Twitter is inactive as fuck. All I do is tweet on my stream. My YouTube is ran by my editor basically, and yeah, I stream. Hey, you can catch me at the LAN at the big Masters LAN that everybody's gonna care about. I'll be there.
Yep.
What
Don't
team?
miss-
Shout
don't
out,
miss
shout
the
out your
action.
team here. This is big.
Hex Mambo.
Nice.
Well, you know, we got Trix, Johnny, Echrome, Zeros, and me. Yeah, me and Zeros on the same team.
Sheesh, run it back.
Have you got anything to shout out?
Fuck no. I don't stream.
Wait, do
probably
you stream?
won't
No, you stream. No, you stream.
You did say you were gonna stream.
Dude, I watched your
Yeah,
stream
I
like the
was-
other day, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you gave
I
me
was
like
there.
100 gifted subs. That was
Yeah,
sick.
bro. I dropped a little 100 bomb.
Yeah.
Wait,
Thank you.
wait, Venenu, weren't you the guy that donated $1,000 on his stream?
Oh, me? Maybe.
Yeah. But they just kind of like do it because of the SPL salary, like you're loaded, so you're just kind of.
Oh yeah. I just have
$1,000.
actually infinite money with the SPL Saturday.
Nah, who knows? I'll stream. Maybe not.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
I'm gonna give it like
I gotta give a
1%
shout
chance.
out as well to all the dog shit EU rank players that invade my blue as 4 players every fucking time.
That's gotta be content though.
Yeah, sure. Do you get the same issue, guys? Like when you play rank, there's just like 4 players on the blue.
Never, bro. Never.
Never?
I play
Never.
mid, so everyone's already there. Anyway.
I'd have to play
naturally.
ranked to find out, but
All right. Well, I think that's about it. Good little 2-hour talk, boys.
It's a fucking ramp. It's a good
That
way.
was fun.
Dude,
Yeah.
do not tell me.
Did you cut out again?
My god, he cut out.
He's dead. He's dead.
Man, fuck this Discord server.
Okay,
Oh, bullshit, man.
you gotta stop it. You gotta stop.
Don't forget to
I'm
like
wrapping
and
it up.
subscribe. I hope you enjoyed
Alright.
the podcast. It was a
It's been
juicy one with all the pros. Hell yeah.
Appreciate Harry and Deathwalker coming in.
Yeah, thank you for
and
joining us.
saving the scene, Harry. My goat.
yeah, I'll take
Been fun,
all
boys.
credit. Okay.
It was on me.
I think I.
I see it.
All right, in a
Alright,
bit,
see you,
boys.
boys.
Adios,
you.
adios. Love you too.
Love you too.
All right, Chad, that's a ramp. That's a good ramp. What do we think? You guys enjoy that? Cut. You enjoy that? We had some nice relaxing music in the background. Skirt. 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 Can we do this like weekly? Well, I think we covered like a month's worth of podcast in one. So